smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory fourth-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
Just an open competition.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Chicago Bears swag. Sold to me.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now they're moused up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, stars get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks rolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Hard crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we're keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Orion faces the rifle. In springtime he's a typhoon, but in season he don't show. Where does he go? Where does he go? Where does he go? His draft picks keep on dropping. All his first round picks are flopping. In the first round we have nothing to show. But Ryan, oh Ryan, oh Ryan, oh. When he finally gets his guy, he can handle the media storm. Dinner reservations at night made Ryan all happy and warm. The fan base is slowly dying. When the Accord that Mitch was driving made Pace just love him so. Pace must go, Pace must go, Pace must go.
The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports.
Watch the tape, and when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie, and there's just the tape doesn't lie.
From all levels of a football team, that this is who we are, this is our personality, this is our attitude. And if all you're worried about is scheming pass routes, well, then that's going to come out as what kind of football team you are.
Run the God-forsaken football.
Finish 7-9. They lose to Detroit. It's going to get so hot.
To Detroit,
it's good.
Come on.
Yeah, the wheels are coming off this
You
weekend.
got Deshaun Watson rolling in here.
Oh my God.
He's going to be counting on his fingers just like Mahomes did when he scores a touchdown.
He's like, well, he'll be going.
Yeah, putting 2 toes up too. Right.
It's late in the game. Nope, not our ridiculously crazy coach. Separate and bam! There goes the football.
Like, nothing would shock me with the Bears. Nothing. They're stupid enough that they would.
Yeah, that's.
Let's fire the coach and let the GM pick the next quarterback. See, that's the concern. I love Ryan. He's an amazing
I hear you.
dude. But you can't let him pick your next quarterback.
Nope.
He's got 3 bites at the apple. Foles, he stinks.
Oh.
Mitchell Trubisky obviously didn't work out. And Mike Glennon stinks. So all 3 are bad players. Now I'm going to let you pick another one? No shot.
I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That was one of the most disheartening, disgusting losses. George McCaskey, if you truly care about winning, you're cleaning house tomorrow. You better get in line now and not get beat at the window. You're better than that.
His 6th year now in the job. Drafted Mitchell Trubisky at number 2 pick. Matt Nagy and Pace trying to get their draft pick up to the point where he can come back and be the starting quarterback for the Bears again.
The Bears select Mitchell Trubisky. Quarterback. North Carolina.
Hello. Mitchell Trubisky is going to Chicago.
Number 1 quarterback for me. Number 1 quarterback for Josh. Number 1 quarterback for Mark. Dow's number 1 quarterback. Over the Top Scouts, number 1 quarterback. Area Scouts, number 1 quarterback. That's conviction on a quarterback. Mitch, what's up, man?
I was ticked off. I had to work harder to figure out what I want from this. He called his benching a learning experience about what it's going to take to be successful, but he said never once did he question his love for the game.
Quarterback. We were aggressive in our approach to address that position. We couldn't be happier in the direction that it's heading. It's on us to continue to surround our young quarterback with the talent he needs to succeed. We must continue to add to our young core, steadily develop the players on our roster, and build upon the foundation we already have. Our impact starters are mostly younger players, and we must build upon that. If we do that, it's only going to pay dividends going forward.
Oh my goodness. You talk about getting embarrassed. Shane?
Everything good? I thought you were gonna play Tupac Changes.
Why a change needs to come.
That was legitness. Yeah. That was legitness. Yeah, it was.
Wednesday, my dudes.
There we are.
Why is that open so long, Phil? You know we're going to hear that in the morning.
Oh my God. I don't think people recognize like creativity on a level of putting things together to mold. Like you could go to a shit show and just like those guys like wear sunglasses, talk shit, have a gold chain on, no shirt. Talk about things that have been talked about later as if they're breaking news now, or copy the Tape Never Lies name and put out your own shit. It amazes me the levels of people doing things, and then we like doing artistic. We take chances. We joke. We put music. We do parodies. Did you like the Christmas parody? I had to pull Greg.
I did.
I had to pull Greg Braggs' voice out of there. I could see him in the chat. He's probably fired up. Where's my foot, Jake?
You know the stress that I'm under?
Every week I'm going to do a Christmas parody leading up to Christmas. Listen, we don't have much to enjoy here in regards to the football level of playing. The football team, the sport, the greatest game in the world. We don't have much to celebrate. It's always anger and vile and venom. And listen, this weekend I had a lot of life experience popping off in our face from my father. The surgery went well. I intended to videotape him, and he has a message that's going to come out this weekend. He wants to speak to the TTNL 100 crew, and all of you guys sending love and prayers was so humbling for him. He couldn't believe it when he got out. I swear to God, the first thing he says to the doctor, apparently, I'll share the other stuff later, but he goes, did they fire Nagy? That's what he wanted to know after he got out of surgery on a Monday.
4 more weeks, Coach. 4 more weeks.
Oh, my God. It's so difficult. Listen, breaking news on the Tape Never Lies Network. We got to do it. I got permission to do it, so I'm going to do it, and we do it in our way.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
Oh, yeah. Breaking news here on the TTNL network. Our guy, the barber.
Smoke weed every day.
That guy, the producer, the Cut It Out segment is not going to go down tonight. Shane, he has, unfortunately, all jokes aside, I need your prayers and positivity for our boy. Claudio has gotten the COVID virus, in all seriousness, and he is feeling it. I texted him earlier tonight. I asked him if I could share this, and in all seriousness, he's like, Phil, I'm so sick. I lost my taste, my smell. My body aches. I got a constant headache, and I'm exhausted. So all prayers, all thoughts are to our boy, the barber, Claudio. I asked him if I could share it with the crew. He has become so attached to the network and everything like that. And I had to, shout him. I told him, don't even worry about fucking coming on the show tonight.
We were gonna make him do it with a mask on.
Shane's like, let's make sure he wears his mask if he comes on this show. It's funny because my dad and everything, and I was like, Claudio, don't come over for the game on. So thankfully we did, and Claudio wasn't feeling well for the Packer game and the other game, so I haven't seen him in 3 weeks. So that was good, but selfishly good for my family and everything. But my dad, we had to be very cautious with that, and now we got to pray for our boy Claudio. I'll keep everybody posted. I don't know if he's probably sleeping now, so it sucks. The virus is real, people. Wear the masks. Hopefully the vaccine comes out. I'm not going to get into politics, but I am going to say this straightforward. It is real, and you have a responsibility. And you see the Chicago Bears, Shane, have guys on the practice squad carrying the virus, getting shut down. It's up and down. You have thought this team is going to hide behind the COVID virus and not do the right thing and fire everyone. I see Sun-Times articles now. They're putting headlines, fire everyone. You're seeing the national media coming to the level of where we've been for 2 years, calling this rinky-dink organization and the things that they're doing with this GM. You saw it in the song Open, and you also saw it in the Open. I mean, what happened on Sunday with the wheels coming off as David Kaplan was on the show last week, it's crazy here, Shane, with COVID and the Bears. Bears fans have nothing really to get excited about except this network and tonight's guest that we have on.
Yeah, and I say we go there. He's been waiting in the green room. We've been chopping it up with him a little bit pregame, so that was that was a good time. So I think he's
big moment for me because this guy, listen, growing up in Connecticut and being a Bears fan is hard enough because then you got tagged with you're only a Bears fan because of the '85 team, and that wasn't the case whatsoever, as my dad could attest. Yeah. I love the Walter Payton, and that became my loyalty. Yeah. So those of you fans of mine that have always asked me, how did you become a Bears fan? Walter Payton. I was scouting at third grade my father asked me, what do you want to play? Running back, Dad. I want you to watch these. Who's the best one? And there was Billy Sims, Tony Dorsett, Franco Harris, and on. And then there was this number 34. And I'll never forget it. It was all white uniforms. They had all white. And he had that 30. And I was like, number 34, Sweetness. That's me. And I always became him when I was Kill the Man with the Ball. And I was always Walter Payton wearing the shirt and mom. And then, was it 4 years later, the 85 Super Bowl Shuffle. And I'm so big into rap music and breakdancing at the time. It was like perfect. It was like the perfect storm. And then what happened, Shane? I got freaking punished for life. And then this guy came around. And there's always some players that I just adore on a football team. So in the 90s, as I'm playing football in high school and playing these big games, and you're watching the Bears and the ticker, and you're praying that the Bears are going to be on because there's no satellite at that time. You're just praying. You're watching the ticker. And then you get Madden and Summerall somehow would do a lot of Bears games locally here in Connecticut. They would be that game, and you'd get them. And then this guy would come on and make some plays for me. And I never forgot the guy. I reached out to him. I said, you got to come on here. I got to tell you our story. But I'm going to tell the story to my story of Lemuel Stinson and how he affected me when he come on here. Let's do it our way, though. Let's do it our way. This guy deserves this intro. If those of you millennials that don't know this guy, it's time to pay attention right here. This is what he was about.
Forget the temperature outside today. The Bears were hot at Soldier Field. Yeah, they were. Yeah. So was Lemuel Stinson, wasn't he? Lemuel Stinson lit the fuse that started today's fireworks at Soldier Field, and that helped blow Atlanta right out of the water by making 2 of the Bears' 4 interceptions.
This guy was selected in the 6th round of the 1988 NFL Draft out of Texas Tech by your Chicago Bears. During his career as a cornerback for the Bears, he appeared in a playoff game every season except one, and in 1990, picked off 6 passes and only 10 games played. Bears fans, get out your seats and give it up for the former Worthington coach. He's Lemuel Stinson.
Wow. There he is. Lemuel, can you hear us?
What's up? What's up?
There he is.
There he is.
I see you. I see you.
How are we doing over there?
Oh, doing great. Doing great. Just moving around, trying to stay limber and loose.
We're trying to keep you loose here. I know there's been a little bit of delay on your side. I guess mine feed was getting a little choppy.
You got a little choppy there for a little bit, but you're good now. Yeah.
I know Lemuel's was he's getting a little choppy, but that's what happens sometimes on this thing, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. But there's the open. 6 interceptions coming into that. I mean, that in and above itself in a season is something you never could scratch a stick at. You go out there and you play your butt off out there. And what was that season like in regards to you being out there at Soldier Field? It was the old Soldier Field at that time. So what was it like, being a 6th round pick, coming up for Coach Ditka, and really playing that season right there? First of all, we'll skip Ditka for the next question, but what was that season like where you were intercepting the ball? I remember that Falcons game was on TV, and you just put that game away, and Deion Sanders was trying to do his talking, but one corner stood out that day, and that was number 32.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great game playing in Atlanta, playing against Atlanta. Those guys was Andre Rison, and those guys were really guys that can play the game. And Deion is a great corner. I think he's a good guy. I'm never going to say anybody is better than me, But
there you go.
If somebody say you say somebody better than you, then you wouldn't very much yourself. But he was a great corner, and he played a lot and done a lot. He's really smart coming out of college. But that game was great. Atlanta came down. They was talking a lot of noise, and a lot of people don't know how it got really started. They came to me in the locker room and talking about what y'all receivers gonna do. I mean, I don't have no receivers. I mean, my receivers are gonna catch the ball. They're gonna go out and do what they need to do. I don't care if Dion, whoever's covering them, who's out there, and they're gonna catch the ball. But they thought our guys was trash. Our receivers wasn't good in anything. Right. So I said, hey, our receivers go out against everybody. Everybody gonna catch one ball. Everybody catch 5 balls. I don't care. We're gonna win the game. And it got to going, and then I went to a meeting and came back to the locker room, and Tony Mellon, he told me, he said, hey, Stinson, you got a call. And I got a call from who? I thought something my grandmother called, something wrong with something.
Thought you were in trouble.
Yeah, get to the phone, and young man, on the phone, who is this? Stinson, who is this motherfucker? Stinson. I'm like, who the hell is this? And we got to talking, and at that time, I said, dawg, I'm from Texas. I fit Florida in my backyard, so I don't care about what's going on up there. But, he had his thing for Florida, and I had my thing for Texas, and we went out there and showed out on the field and played, and, played to the best of our ability, and I ended up winning the battle. I said, I always say I'm going to get 2 picks, because there's always 2 picks out there you can get. And I went out there and got those 2 picks. So that year was just really amazing for me, because the beginning of the year we played Seattle. I picked off one, and then I picked off another one. I was going to take it back, and I stepped out of bounds that I can remember. And they say that, so that's what they tell me. But I have to look at a lot of film to.
We got to watch the tape on that. We got to see it on tape.
But it was a nice pick, and I was continuing getting picks and everything for that season. For Dicker was a great coach. I mean, a lot of things that Dicker did back then was to make us better at what we do and how we do it. He put pressure on us. We can't go out there and play like dogs and expect to step on the field. He had a persona about him that he wanted to make sure that we do our job and not worry about it. Because, your job at that case was on the line. At that time was on the line every day, every practice. They get it today. They didn't worry about a job. They just keep on going to work. We had to fight for them jobs back then. So, don't get me wrong. We paved the way for those. And I can't say we. I think the guys before us paved the way for us to do what we needed to do, and these guys to do what they need to do. So they, sometimes you think, these guys need to go back and think about, who started this thing, because baseball is a tight-knit group. Basketball is a tight-knit group, and we're still searching in football, especially with the retired players.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you talk about accountability there. Every practice you were coming out here in Chicago, we're looking at tape. Obviously, I've sent you my video breakdowns, and you see missed assignments, fundamentals being lackadaisical, effort being questioned, loafing. Would that shit go down when you were playing?
No, not at all. I mean, if you'll be up out of there. I mean, it's plain and simple. Dicker would, it'll be somebody, you'll see somebody in practice one day, and the next day, where did he go? I mean, there's a DB here, there's a receiver here, where is he at? And you don't know where they're at. So, you're sitting there looking at him and like, man, he's not here now. So these guys, even on other teams, guys was out of there quick. They didn't play like they now. I think they got so much money involved now that these guys they kind of got him a little bit, because some guys, the dude told me he had 2 interceptions in 4 years. I was like, dogs, 2 interceptions in 4 years, we'd be cut. Yeah. we like 2 interceptions in 4. It's so crazy now, because we preached a lot of technique back then, and looking at film and constantly. I learned to look at film with Mike Singletary.
Yeah, fundamental. Phil and I talk about that all the time, how important that is, and it gets overlooked for whatever reason at the highest level. I mean, something so simple. But Lemuel, you talk about fighting for your job. That's one of the big things today. Is now you're looking at the zeros on your paycheck with that guaranteed money, and that's really the separator. The guaranteed money is creeped in. I'm not bashing these guys for getting their money while they can. I totally get it. But like you said, you come in as a 6th rounder, you could go out and pick off a couple of passes and do something wrong in practice, you could be gone the next day. You just didn't know, and that's the biggest difference between 1988, 1989, 1990 to now, and even previous. But one thing that I always, when we get players on here, I always like to take you back to draft day. What was your draft day like? Did you have a lot of contact with the Bears leading up to the draft? I know it's a whole different beast nowadays. I mean, now it's like a red carpet event, and it's a must see TV. But
I tell you what, here's the funniest part about my draft. My ex-wife, we were in college, and my agent said, "Hey, you going first? You going either the late, early second round, or late third round, somewhere off in there, in between 2 and 3." And at that time, we had 12 rounds.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it. So I stay up all that night looking at the draft. One first round come through, second round come through, third round, fourth round. So they get at the end of the day, they end up with the 5th round. So I'm looking at it, I like, shoot, I better get ready to talk to some of my teachers, because I was, I missed a few classes, as we all do. We missed a few classes, trying to do what we're doing for us working out and things.
Right.
And I said, well, I better get ready to talk to these teachers, because I need to go back to school, because I looked went to get a newspaper about 4 a.m. And at 4 a.m. when I got that newspaper, it had 32 DBs went before me.
Wow.
And I looked at it, I said, oh my God. I said, 32 DBs, I'm not getting drafted. I don't know what this agent was talking about. And by 9:15 that morning, Mr. Tobin called me, and he said, I said, how you doing? He said, hey, how you doing, Lemuel Stinson? We just drafted you in the 6th round. I'm from the Chicago Bears, and my name is Mr. Tobin. I said, man, y'all stop playing with me, because the guys was calling on the phone. At that time, there was no cell phones. We was on regular house phones.
Right.
You dial the phone and, hey,
the rotary.
We like, hey.
You hope you have the long line so you go in the closet and have some privacy.
They didn't have the push buttons at that.
Yeah, the rotary.
I had the rotary.
Yeah.
We were sitting in there, and like I said, he told me, I said, man, y'all stop playing with me. He said, nah, I know a lot of guys been calling, probably playing with you guys, and here's what we did, and we drafted you in the 6th round. And I said, man, he said, it's for real. I said, thank you. That's all I kept saying. He said, well, I'll give you the details. And at that point in time, we ended up going to Chicago.
Let me ask you this. Go back to Mike Singletary, watching tape with Mike Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a veteran, obviously, taking a young buck under his wing and teaching you how to watch the tape. What was that experience like for you?
Mike is I understand, we had the same high school coach at Mike Singletary, Mike and myself. We had Oliver Brown, and I had Coach Elliott at the end. But Coach Brown was our coach, and that he coached Mike, he coached me, he coached Cliff Branch.
Yep.
He coached Charles White. He coached all these guys. So we got a lot of great athletes come through the school. So, it's just not us guys. It's a whole lot more guys. David Ladden, we got guys come from Ebony Worthing High School. But Mike, looking at film, he taught me one thing. And that one thing I always remember about Mike, he always looked at film. And I always used to ask Mike, how do you know what's going to happen in the game and how it's going to happen and what's going on? Because I'm still young. I'm a rookie.
Right.
And he said, hey, man, you sit down and look at the film like you're looking at Sanford and Son, like you're looking at a TV show, like you're looking at a rerun. Because every time a rerun come on, you'll know how what's going to happen next if you look at the show over and over and over again. So I started doing that, and and I wouldn't rewind the film. I just keep looking at it, and so you start getting guys' tendencies. Oh, he finna do this on this play. He finna do this on this play, and then you start seeing coaches, and his thing was he's not playing the team. He's not playing the guys on the field. He's playing the offensive coordinator.
Right.
So that's what we used to do. We used to sit back and look at film. And we say, okay, we got to look at the offensive coordinator, see what he want to do. And I remember getting in trouble by Dicker one time. I looked at the Detroit Lions, and they running shoe with Ware and those guys, and Green and all those guys, and the little receivers. They boom, 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 they running routes. Yep. I say little. I was only 150 pounds, 155 pounds myself.
Wow.
But those guys was running routes. So Green would run an out. He'll run a curl. He'll run a slant, and then they'll repeat that system. So they got the ball on the 20, and Dicker, I was catch. He caught a pass on a slant. He ran it out. He didn't catch it. They threw it. He ran a curl. He did all that. Then he rotated and did it again. Dicker said, Stinson, get tight on him. Come. I already knew where I wanted to be at that time. So I said, I got this. He said, hey, you don't get it, I'm going to pull you out. That's how they was. Hey, you going to the sideline. So I said, okay, next play, they're going to run. I seen it. I broke on it. I picked it off. I was running down the sideline about 50 yards, 60 yards, and Barry Sanders came on side and hit me and knocked me out of bounds and fell through an elbow because Barry was a little pissed at me too for me hitting the intercept like that. But you got that next extra tack 15 yards on that. But that's what we had to do. Look at film and see how it go. And then when I went to the sideline, I said, "Hey, coach, I had him. I was setting him up." He said, "You better have to hurry up because I was going to pull you out." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He said, "Yeah, I'm okay to go back." I guess so. But yeah, that's the thing.
Lemuel, when we're looking at the 2020 Chicago Bears, just as a former Chicago Bear and as a football fan yourself, when you're watching what's unfolding right now before your eyes, what do you see that bothers you the most about this team? He took a deep breath there. That can't be good, man.
The list goes up.
I know y'all say we can swear off.
Let her rip, man.
Hey, you gotta get them out.
Listen, I'm in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Now, Sean Watson to me is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Smart. Can get the job done. He had a little mishap, and if the Texans was upset with that, they need to be something need to be done to those guys. But he's a great quarterback. Our guys, they're not trying. I mean, I'm gonna start with the offense.
Yeah,
I'm not an offensive guy, but when I'm watching offense, I check them out. Quarterback wise, we don't have a quarterback right now. Well, I mean, we got a young kid, and it's not Trubisky's fault for them putting him in that situation.
Right,
they put him in that situation, so it's not his fault to go out there and execute the head coach's game plan. I'm not sure how many games, but I think it was 11 games that he started in college. I mean, and then you're a first round draft. It doesn't happen that way. If somebody's seen something in 11 games, that's different. Whoever that guy is need to be somewhere else. But not saying that's Trubisky's fault. Trubisky is great. I mean, to me, he can be good, but he got to back up somebody. Foles, I mean, hey, I don't know where his arm strength went, because right now he's not throwing the ball strong enough, and we got 2 tackles. I don't know names. I just know a few names, but we got 2 tackles that
Walrus.
70 and is it 72 or 74? I mean,
72.
Yeah, 72
we
and
call him
72.
Speed Bump Charlie.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if they're young. Don't get me wrong. I mean, because everybody's out there to do the job and do the best that they can. If that's the best that they can do, then them coaches need to do something and step up for their game plan, because we had coaches that would not take that. Jim McMahon is not getting hit. Becker, Van Horn, y'all better block, and they block. And if Jim got sacked, Becker and Van Horn gonna make sure Tom Thayer and Jay Hilgenberg and those guys right there, Bortz, they're gonna make sure that those guys don't touch that boy again, don't touch him again. So we don't have no dog in us right now. We have we little
thank you.
Thank you. Everybody got a little milk and they going to get breastfed or something. Even when we go into tackling on the field. Now I'm gonna tell you something, Mac has his thing. He's a beast. They double. They chipping him off. Mac doing what he can do. 94. Like I say, I don't know names a lot because we don't get as much in Texas, but he does a good job. 94 trying to come off that edge, and the front line is doing so. But our linebackers, man, when you look at linebackers, I'm so used to Mike Singletary bringing that hat, Otis Wilson bringing that hat. Ron Rivera.
Riverboat Ron.
Yeah, I'm used to Jim Smells bringing that hat. So John Roper. We had guys that's going to hit you and dare you to run back through there. And then we look at our secondary. I mean, maybe young. I don't know. I don't pay attention to names, like I say, where the schools they come from, because once you get to the league, you're a professional. You got to act like a professional. Right. And right now, our secondary, we trying to strip the ball and give him 10 more yards. And
we talk about it every week.
Why are you stripping? Go through and hit and do what you need to do and make sure that the job get done. But they don't do that. So that's my thing. I think we piss poor on defense. From linebacker to secondary. And I won't say this here because I'll tell each and every one of them guys, if I tell you what I tell you, I'm going to tell them the same thing if I ever talk to them. You got to get better by getting harder. You got to attack and you got to hit. With Mike Dicker, with Vince Tobin, with those guys that we play with, that'll never stand. You'll be on the sideline or you'll be cut or you'll be walking out the next day trying out for another team.
You're preaching to the choir here. This is what I talk about every week, and these fans, you could see the comments popping up. Shane and I are trying to do Claudio's job tonight. Usually we have a producer, but like I said, for those of you just checking in, Claudio, send him some love. He is dealing with the COVID virus, and he is not here tonight. So you said a couple things in there, so I got to go back. I got to backpedal. Listen, you talk about the tackles. Let's start there. I have given this guy, Leno, number 72, so many nicknames. I listed them off in my film breakdown today for the first. But it's so disappointing because of what you said to Van Horn and these players. You saw like an agitated letdown when they gave up a sack or didn't do their assignment appropriately. Yeah. With this guy, we're just seeing go back to the huddle or help the quarterback up with the lazy Fred Sanford just style there. It's just like, hey, let me help you up again, Mitch. Let's go back to the huddle. It's so disappointing.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to watch to see who's doing what and how he's doing it. If you know football, sometimes you sit in a sports bar or somewhere with guys who just talk football but don't know football, and you tell them, "Hey, man, this is happening and that is happening." But when you got a tackle, and those guys are not protecting him, and don't get me wrong, that could be one reason Foles trying to hurry up and get that ball out, or he ain't getting it out for enough because they're not getting that protection like what was. And like I say, Trubisky, he's a running quarterback. He's a zone read, run the ball, and they know why he drafted. I think some of the play calling is not as good as it should be. I expect a lot from Coach. When he first came to the league, but being in Texas, I have to hang my jersey up in front of my house, or hang my jersey up in the rafters or whatever. And shoot, these people come by and they Texas, they hey, take that jersey down. Nah, it's bad country when you walk around here. I love my Chicago Bears.
What do you do when you see? We'll go to the secondary now. A player, and I know all the names in the colleges, so I'll talk. He's a Pro Bowl safety out there making business decisions, not being physical. And how does that affect the young kid like a Lemuel Stinson would? Talk about that. If your leader, your all pro safeties out there, not wrapping up, trying to strip the ball, missing tackles, taking poor angles, and totally being soft as puppy shit out there, and the freaking fan base is watching this shit, and you're getting beat 41-20 by your rival, and then the next week you're taking bad angles again, and you're celebrating, and you're talking as if something is going on that we're all not privy to. How do you handle that?
Well, I mean, in Chicago, I mean, these guys know, if you're gonna talk shit, you got to talk shit, and you got to play up to the talking shit. That's one thing. If I'm gonna talk shit, I'm gonna play your ass like you ain't never been played before, and that's the difference between these guys. These guys talk, they talking no, but you ain't bringing a hat, And don't get me wrong, they can't lead with their head. They got all these new rules hitting with their shoulder, which, I mean, my shoulder's still messed up from when I played. I mean, and just imagine what they gonna feel like. My neck messed up. I mean, but the deal is, you're gonna receive these injuries, as you play longer in the league. But these guys don't hit. They take bad angles. They always trying to strip the ball. I seen a guy the other day. I want to say it's 23 or 39, one of the two. He trying to rip the ball out. Guy got another 8 yards. Only
that's 39.
39. You're talking about Eddie Jackson. Yeah, the safety. He does it constantly.
Our most physical player is the corner, 23. He tackles.
Yeah, he tackles. And now one kid, the 1 week seen not too long ago, I think, if I remember, because I run it back. I look at if I see it on TV, I record it so I can look at it again and see what they're doing wrong. Because sometimes you'll run across somebody want to ask you something, and I'll tell them. But and not scared to tell them. 23, yeah, he had a couple of hits. They had a nickel guy come in, a nickel guy that came in and he hit somebody over the middle and flipped him. I say, now that's how you hit. You hit like that. But they're not scared to run through us. They're not trying. And then once they get past Mac and that 94 and them few linemen right there, it's like we grabbing. All we doing is grabbing. And like I say, we love our Chicago Bears. We rep our Bears if you're a Bear, if you Jim McMahon or you Tom Zach or you guys that put that uniform on and go out there when it's cold with no sleeves on, back in the day, no, we're not playing like that. You're not playing like that.
No
when
sleeves.
When the Texans come up there this week, they're supposed to ball against the Texans. They're supposed to ball against them. It's cold up there. We from Texas. We're supposed to be shivering and shaking up here, you know. But I mean, like I say, Deshaun is a great quarterback, and I'll be looking to see what they do. I don't know who they brought in after Trubisky and what's his name, number 8, the kid. I mean, it's so many guys that can play the game. I mean, Lord, we got to figure something out. I mean, Ted Phillips was there when I was there, and he did a great job getting guys in and doing what he's doing. Ted was a little, how would I say?
Let's hear this.
Keep it 100. Keep it 100. Dropping it.
We're trying to get rid of Ted.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this here. Ted is a good guy talking to him, and a good guy going through it. But Ted can be an asshole too. He's a straight asshole to you. He be like, hey, I don't give a shit what you're talking about. I'm not paying you. I'm not doing it. So. Me and Ted had our ins and outs, and then we had some great things. We had some great things. I love those guys. I love the McCaskies. I mean, Virginia was so sweet. Ed was so, great guy. Mike and George and the rest of those guys. That family treated me like, took my grandmother. She came down for a game, and it was cold, and she wanted to sit in the stands. They made sure that she was taken care of, made sure she had hot chocolate, made sure they brought stuff. So, I can't say nothing bad about the family because the family did a good job for me, But like I say, Ted still has his moments.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get rid of Ted, the Grinch, I call him. That's a hint for a song coming up. I'm keeping it 100, man. I'm just keeping it 100.
Get rid of Ted. Ted kind of.
Listen, I got a text from Cap from ESPN Chicago. He said, from what he heard, Ted is going to retire after this. He's feeling the heat, and he's going to.
The retire was in quotations, though, Lemuel. It's that. You're going to retire, aren't you, Ted? It's one of those from higher up.
He's going to go.
If that's the case. That's the only way y'all.
Right. That's the only way he got out of there.
Nowhere.
What was that duck?
You gonna have that thick mustache and that old little funny little hair on him. But he's
Scrooge.
good. To me, he's a good guy. So I can't say. He just didn't give me my last contract. I was still mad at him about that. But, he'll be all right.
No, he didn't take care of you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you real quick, Shane. I wanted him to double down because I deal with the tape and it doesn't lie, right? You know that as a player because you're studying it. That's what's the story, not the narrative, not the stats, not the 40 time, not how many catches. It's how they do it. How do they make it? Anybody can catch a fucking bubble screen and run for 12, get a good block and run. It's those guys that make plays down the field. On the defensive side of the ball, as you're saying, people coming up, wrapping up, tackling, physical. But you talked about Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. Here's two guys that are highly paid, that are feeling the heat because the team is losing. However, every time I pop on the tape and I'm their biggest defenders, not fanboy shit. This is reality on tape. He's getting chipped, doubled, tripled, held. He got a sack taken away because there was a ref calling some bullshit call. The whole story changes with referees and everything that's going on. Khalil Mack is a filthy fucking animal. He's unbelievable, the things that he does on tape, and he doesn't stop. He plays the run. He's not just a situational guy. Talk about that and how hard that is to be able to be playing the game but having everybody and their brother focused on you and to stop you to get their game going.
No, that's hard. That's got to be hard for him. He's considered to me one of the best defensive ends in the league. A guy that can run to the ball, the guy that can chase you down from the back, guy that's not gonna. He's 100 every time. He'll chase you down the field. So Mac to me, and both those guys really 94. He's a beast too, and they got some inside guys that's working too. I don't really know them, like I say, but they work hard inside. But Mac to have that pressure on getting chipped, getting cut, and still playing. Sometimes he plays. I know he has to play injured sometimes because he getting chipped, he getting cut. I mean, they hitting, they double teaming him. So you gotta think about how Mac is. I mean, they're playing against Mac. They just don't. I mean, and then 94 is getting a little bit now too because they're working with him. But
he got freaking tackled in this.
We gave up a DN somewhere. He went somewhere. I don't know who he was.
Leonard Floyd. He went to the Rams. Yeah, they let him go.
Oh, we need to not give up who we have and keep the guys and bring in extra guys to keep going, man. Sometimes I wish I was the GM. Sometimes I wish I was the defense coordinator. I mean, it's just things you would do now that you just look at it and say, man, it's crazy.
Lemuel, one of the things that we talk about here, and we've had like Olin Kreutz on and talked about it with him. This is the NFL. This is where if you play football, this is where you want to be. And I mean, you're a football guy, and we hear the head coach Matt Nagy before the season started. He goes on the radio and he says to a couple of the guys, he goes, during the offseason, I had a couple of players come to me and say, Coach, we really want you to sit down with us after the games, and we want to be able to go over what we did wrong in front of everybody. And I'm like, I get a hold of Phil on the phone. I'm like, how are they not doing that anyway? How are they not doing it anyway? So I mean, so as a football guy, as a guy that's lived it, the guy that's been there, when you hear a current NFL coach for the first time this year 3, is finally sitting down with his players and reviewing the tape.
In front of the team.
He's
holding people accountable.
You're in year 3.
Hey, I was a rookie.
Here we go.
Mike Dicker, we was doing something in training, and we was doing something in practice and everything. And Jimbo Covert, our Pro Bowl tackle, Jimbo,
Hall of Fame,
Hall of Famer. Yeah, Jimbo, great guy. I got a story about Jimbo, but he might be mad at me if I tell it.
You have to tell it now.
Well, we had the game film on, and Dicker pulled out the film. He opened up, because defense be on one side, offense be on the other side. And Dicker pulled up, and he walked in with his big cigar, be about that long. Let me get my other finger off in there. There it is. It'd be about that long, He coming up smoking a cigar, and he'll walk through the doors. So he'll have a meeting with us, and then he'll go over to the offense side. Then one time he just opened up the meeting. He said, we're going to watch offense and defense. And we watched offense and defense, and we got to see on the offense side who was doing wrong, what you was doing, how you was doing it. And then on the defensive side, they got to see what we were doing wrong, who was making the mistakes. Then you had to be accountable because you over there talking, hey, we did this on defense, we did this, but dog, you didn't make the tackle. You missed the tackle. So can we count on you? So that's what Dicker would. Dicker wants you to be accountable. And don't get me wrong, Dicker is back then he's a great coach. I mean, he's the guy that put that pressure on you and let you know what was going on.
But as a player, didn't you covet that, to be held accountable in front of your teammates, and then you can see what, what I mean? That team philosophy, isn't that something that you craved as a player?
Oh yeah. We wanted to make sure everybody knew what he's doing, how he's doing. That's why I always said something. Hey, I'm getting 2 picks. Oh well, Stin, you get the lemon heads. You get that pick. That's my nickname, lemon head. You get lemon heads. You get them 2. I'm gonna get them 2. I'm trying to get them 2. I'm working hard for the team on the field, and I'm gonna make sure that I do the best I can for that team. So for our team. So I'm out there trying to put it on the line and with the other guys, and we try to make sure we tell those guys to keep working hard. And that's what to me right now. Everybody's playing for themselves. They trying not to get hurt. They're playing not to make a tackle. They playing not to run. Now, number 32 had me upset. The first time I seen 32, the running back,
Yeah,
I said,
Montgomery.
I said, man, he got my number. I say, so he got to handle this business. If you got 32 on, you got to wear 3-2, baby. And the first time he ran the ball, he was running a little shaky and a little bit kind of like, dude, he got my number on and running like this. They're going to get somebody else. We missed 2-9, whoever, the little running back.
Tariq Cohen.
Tariq Cohen.
Yep.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry because I know no names. I'm bad with names. I'm
Listen,
that's fine.
I'll do the names. You do the numbers.
That's my boy.
We know who you're talking about. Yeah.
We know. Unlike some shows on radio, we know every player on the team.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. It's good to know that. But like I say, he's a good back. We miss him. But 32 last few games, he stepped that game up. I mean, he ran. He's put his foot in the ground. He got upfield and got a few passes. And he had a few runs on it. So I was proud of him. I'll tell you when you do bad. I'll tell you when you do good. That's the only way I was raised. That's what it is.
Dude, the coach continues to look for an identity. And today in his presser, he's like,
3.
we found our identity. Now, I've been saying 3-2 in honor of you, but really David Montgomery is your identity because of the tenacity and the toughness that you're seeing now. A running back going behind an offensive line that gives a shit they can't work. You played with one of the best ever in Neil Anderson over there with the Chicago Bears. If they're not blocking for Neil's going to get stuffed. Neil's going to take some shots. Neil's going to make some plays because he runs hard. But let's keep it 100 here. Your offensive line isn't doing their job. Your whole offense goes to shambles. And that's really what I see on tape is confusion, lack of aggressiveness, and the lack of fundamentals. And nobody's held accountable, like Bullets is saying here, and that you're talking about. So guys like David Montgomery have to adapt, and they become a wild man. Because what I saw on tape with this game, David Montgomery's footwork, I compared it to Pele, the soccer player, this week. I'm not a soccer guy, but I watched Pele play, and I've never seen footwork and balance like that until I saw David Montgomery, and I'm a big Walter Payton guy. I love Neil Anderson. I wasn't big on Matt Forte. I didn't think he had it in here. I see 3-2 playing with it in here. There's a pride to it. Anyway, you look at these types of situations on offense, and Shayne sharing that with no accountability. And then you see the record of this franchise. They've started at 5-1. Now they're 6 losses in a row, 5-7. How does a team handle that? Have you ever been in a situation where you've been on a losing streak? And have you ever had to call out a teammate for their effort?
Well, I've never called out a teammate for his effort. I mean, I've always looked at guys and say, hey, man, we need to pick this up. Mike Singletary would say, we need to play. I mean, we were 6-10 one time. We were 6-10 that year after, I want to say it's 89, 91, something off of it. It's a couple of years. We went 6-10, and Dicker walked on and said he didn't think we'd win another game. And
that's when he said it in the presser, right?
Yeah, in the presser. Yeah, I was like, man, hold up, we're gonna win some more games. What are you talking about? So we had to step our game up. Everybody was trying to make it, but now, these guys ain't. They don't.
1989. Bears fans are telling, look, 89. Kevin
89.
Winston and Richard Gordon. Look, they're jumping in there. They know.
Yeah. There y'all go. Y'all know. Well, that's after we came back. We was 12-4. I mean, 12-4, 13-3. Somewhere off of now. We played good that NFC Championship year, but we should have beat. Like I say, we should have beat the 49ers, but we didn't. They came down and beat us then. But yeah, you got to have accountability. You got to make sure these guys are ready to step up and play the game. Sometimes they get their mind wrong, and like I say, it's the whole team in Chicago. It's from offense, defense, special teams, coaches, GMs. Everybody got to be accountable because you're paying the guys a lot of money to do a job, and they're not doing it.
What do you think of the BU philosophy instead of togetherness. So the coach preaches, if you don't know, he's like, be you. He wants them all to be them. My thing is they've become selfish, and you see it on the football field.
Well, when you making a lot of money and you're not producing, it's time for you to go. But then now they may be handcuffs or whatever that they're making too much money. They don't want to get hurt. They want to do this and they want to, a lot of these guys here want to show, like, hey, I'm the man now. You're really not the man. I mean, you're not the man because you're not doing your job on the field. Like I say, if you look at the game, you'll see how much of a shit case it is. I mean, it's just you look at it. Well, who is this on the team? I mean, we had an identity because we offensively we ran the ball. We put the ball in the running back hand. Neil Anderson, he gonna get his. And defense, we're not giving up no more than 13 to 17 points a game. We're not. It's not no 41 and 30. I know they throw the ball a little bit more now, but I wish they threw it back then like that when I was doing. I'll try to get more than the interceptions that I got then. But like I said, it happens. It does what it do. But yep, that's it.
Lemuel, we got a lot of people in the chat room, and I think of people that obviously didn't even get a chance to see you play, but they're suddenly becoming big Lemonhead Stinson fans here. But why don't you share with everybody like what you're doing now and just so keep everybody up to date with what you're doing.
Man, I roll out of bed and fall out. I think I fell out and hit my shoulder and everything. My body is messed up. I mean, I ain't Lemonhead no more. I'm Lemon.
Yeah.
Lemon right now. But we do a lot of things. We try to promote events for organizations who can't raise money for themselves, the Lemuel Stinson Foundation, and we do a lot of things like that. We raise money for organizations. We go visit kids. We do a lot of that type of stuff, and we kind of gather around and talk. Some of the guys, is not doing so well. I mean, we all have injuries. We all have headaches and injuries and stuff like that. So. It's a little tough on us, but everybody kind of stick together. So I'm at home most of the time. Like I said, I had three knee surgery operations, and then 2 on the left and 1 on the right, and my shoulder look like it need to have surgery now where it's dropping. But it's just you look at it. I was 150 pounds when I played at that time, 150, 155, soaking wet, and I try to bring the head like I bring it. And we had great guys. Darnell Wolford was a great hitter. Sean Gale, Dave Durison, L.A. Mike Richardson. So, we had Vesty Jackson. So we had some guys that can play the game.
Number 24.
Yeah, 2-4. Yeah.
Sean Gale, 23.
23, yeah. Sean had my number. That was my college number.
Yeah.
They told me, hey, you can get 23, you can get here. I get here, Sean Gale had 23 on. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get that number. That dude's a starter.
You reversed the numbers.
Yeah, they reversed the numbers. So that's how I got the 3-2. Number 32 in your program, number 1 in your heart.
Let me tell my Lemuel Stinson story quick, Shane.
Uh-oh, what is it? What is that?
So listen,
you want him some money.
Yes.
So
let me.
I get 10%?
It's been spent right now. Listen. As you grow older and you become so loyal to the team, you obviously, for me, you learn the players, you watch the games, and I was grateful enough to be able to watch you play. And someone asked me on one show, who was your under the radar player for the Chicago Bears that you loved more than maybe anybody, that you would buy their jersey? I instantly said Lemuel Stinson. I just remembered how you played the game with so much pride. You confident, and you were small, and I was small, and I just loved the way you played the game, and I became such a huge fan. I didn't know you were even 150 pounds. That even makes it even more incredible the way this guy hit and exploded into tackles as well as tracked the football. You saw it in his open there. But here's the story. So I'm 1990, and I'm playing in a Madden tournament, right? In Madden, it was 91, and I'm playing in a Madden. I had Wolford and Lemuel Stinson. And it was Mark Carrier was his rookie year, right? You played with Mark.
Mark. Great safety. Great safety, Mark.
So I had you, Donnell, Mark Carrier, and I think it was Sean Gale, and then Dent and Armstrong. And I literally was waxing everybody, and everybody said the Bears suck. Harbaugh fucking sucks. You can't. And I had Neil Anderson. I knew how to use him on a flare route, and I'd get him matched up with the linebacker so he would get free, and I'd lob it up to him, and I would beat everybody. So I'm in the championship game, and I'm playing this guy with the Cowboys, and he's trying to run Emmitt Smith on me, and we are just stuffing it, right? So he's got to throw the ball. And the greatest freaking play, it's coming down to the wire. I'm up by 3. He's driving down. He throws a deep ball to Michael Irvin, and Lemuel Stinson's on him. And Stinson one-hands picks it, and I take it to the house. I win the money. The money was $500, and I was like, I'd never had that much money in my hand at that time in my life. And all I was doing is going down the hallways going, Lemuel! Everyone's like, who the hell is Lemuel? So everybody started picking up, and every time there was an interception now during the game, I used to say, Lemuel, and everyone would do it. So I love you, man. You were my childhood. I said to Shane, it's like, oh my God, this is like my guy, and he's on our show. What is better than that? And these millennials that don't know, I mean, you lived and died with we're in Connecticut. He's in upstate New York, and we're living and dying with the ticker. I ended up making a good friend, like the ticker on the bottom of the television. We're watching Giants game, Giants Chiefs, and you're waiting. Where's the Bears score? There it is. Bears are up 10-3. You died for that. Then I ended up making a friend, and he was the manager, just like that. Yeah, the ticker, the score would go. He was the manager of this bar, and he had that giant satellite dish. And I made a deal with him. He was such a nice guy. He passed away. His name was Ray. He would videotape every Bears game, and I would watch it on delay like George Costanza. Like, nobody tell me the score. That's how crazy I was to see it. I don't have those tapes anymore. My ex-wife ended up burning them or something. She's crazy.
What did you do?
What did she do? I don't know.
That's a whole other show.
It's another show.
You know, like you're not sharing that Jimbo Covert story. I don't think we're going to go there either.
Keeping it 102.
We'll keep those two stories together.
Those are off the air stories. I was hoping I would get the Jimbo Covert story, but who was the toughest guy on that team that you played? And then I have a follow-up question about Jim Harbaugh that I want you to answer.
The toughest guy on that team, for us hitting wise, was Mike Singletary. The most humble person that you ever gonna meet.
Right.
He's not gonna curse. He always got on me. Lemon. No, don't say that. Don't say that. No, Lemon. But he's the most humble person, but he's the hardest hitting guy. And Otis Wilson was a beast. I seen him. He left-handed. So true story. Vince Tobin said something to Otis one day in a meeting, and he told Otis, he said, "Take it on with your right shoulder, Otis." And Otis was, those guys were so bad back then. They laying back. Otis Wilson sleeping in the meeting, and everybody else Mike sitting in the front next to Coach Tobin. And we sitting in the middle as the rookies right here, me, David Tate, Mickey Pruitt, and Otis Wilson said, huh? He woke up like, what? Take it on with my right shoulder. And he said, Vince told Iceman, Dave McGinnis, he say, tell him what I told you. Tell him what I said, Dave. And Dave was telling me, he said, well, he looked up at the play. He say, did he fold? Because Otis liked to hit with his left shoulder. So Otis hit him in buckling with his left shoulder. He said, did he fold out? He said, well, I did my job then. And went back to sleep. I said, "Oh, this kid is real." That's how you know the '85 Bears. Them guys was so they didn't take nothing. They didn't take nothing. And some of those guys still there. When we got there in '88, Dicker kept 13 to 14 rookies on that year.
Oh, really?
So that's what made us play our butts off. And and we beat some of those guys out. But like I say, Otis Wilson, he was a beast. Otis was a beast. Fridge was a mean character. Richard Dent, probably one of the best ever. It's nothing you can take Richard Dent. I mean, in my eyesight, I remember Richard Dent told me my first time when I got my check. He said, "You need me to cash your check?" And I was like, can't cash my check." He said, "No, I got it right here in the locker." I said, "Yeah, you shouldn't have told me that. I'm gonna go to lunch on you every day." But yeah, they had some things. Boy, they had a lot of things. Missed the locker room, missed those guys. Love my teammates, but yeah, like I say, it's a great thing. But Mike Singletary, probably one of the meanest, hardest hitting guys. I seen him hit a Green Bay game. He hit the center, the fullback, and buckle the running back all in one play. And Vince Tobin ran that play over and over again. And I remember that till like it's yesterday. That's the only thing I think I remember sometimes.
Some things you never forget.
Yeah. You never forget, yeah.
You brought up probably the longest tenured Bear ever when you think about it. You brought up Tony Medlin, the equipment guy. He's still there. T-Med. Everybody, all the Bears players that we have on now, they all have T-Med stories. Do you have any?
Oh yeah, T-Med the one called me in the office when we had to go against the Atlanta game.
Yeah,
and he called me in the office and said, "Stinson, you got a phone call?" And he's just smiling. And I'm like, "What the hell?" Smiling. I said, "I thought something was wrong." And I run off of him. I'm jogging off in there right after a meeting. You know, we had just went through the press and the media. We went to our meeting, and then we came back downstairs and we was walking to our lockers, and we was gonna go media again. And then he said I had a meeting. That was Tony Medlin. But Tony's a good guy. He always made sure we stay on P's and Q's. He made sure that as rookies we had what we needed, and he made sure that we stayed out of trouble. He let us know the ins and the outs for us not getting in trouble in the city and all that. And Walter was great on that. Now, when you say Walter was like our mentor. Yeah. All the rookies. He made sure that we didn't get in no trouble. He made sure we didn't do this. He made sure we didn't do that. So, and we always went to his little Club 34s, if y'all know that. That's a nice spot.
Nice.
Let me ask you this about Jim Harbaugh, especially with the coaching stability here in Chicago. Here's a guy coaching Michigan. You played with the guy. What kind of man is he? What kind of teammate was he? And is he somebody that you would trust with this franchise and trying to get back to the level of accountability, character, and toughness that the Chicago Bears deserve?
Jim is that type of guy. Jim was a quarterback. This is a funny story. Jim was the backup quarterback, and Jim McMahon was there, Tom Zach was there, and Jim was sitting on the sideline. Jim was just scratching and itching to get in the game. He just ready to go in the game. He on, don't get me wrong, maybe some kids on Ritalin, but that's how Jim looked at me. He looked like he was on Ritalin.
Yeah.
He was ready to go. Hey, it's fire. But and Harbaugh, he throw that ball. He throw it. It's hard too. You intercept this ball, you be like, man, why is dude throwing so hard? But it was there. But I think Jim will be a great fit in Chicago because the love of it that he had. That's just saying. That same way I thought that Ron Revere would have been a great fit in Chicago because he loved it. And we got guys that are coaches that they love Chicago. Mike Singletary. I mean, these guys can come together and make a strong coaching staff and a thing. You bring Mike Singletary in there, he's going to be mental. You bring Jim Harbaugh in there, he's going to run a great offensive scheme. Mm-hmm. The college game is a little different. NFL is so much faster than the college game. It's unreal because when you get up there, it happens so quick because you look at so much film and you do what you do.
Exactly.
But because you may have a receiver over here that's not that good, but you got a receiver over here that's good, you can play that over there. You can let him be one-on-one, or you can have a running back that's good and a tight end that's good, and then you play that. But Jim Harbaugh, I think he'll be a good fit because the McCaskey's knowing he's a good guy. The true story was, see, that's that. Yeah. A couple of hits I had to get back. I'm trying to let you know that.
The Jim Harbaugh story.
He ran down on kickoffs because he was so wanting to get in the game and he didn't play. Coach Dicker put him down on kickoff, and you never seen. Hey, that kid. Hey, I say kid. He older than me. he ran down that field like he was a receiver trying to get to that tackle and make a tackle because that's what his heart was in it. Jim is a fiery guy, you know, and you look at his brother coach the Ravens. I mean, he can do the job. I think he can do the job. I think Ron Revere could have done the job, and I think Mike Singletary can do the job because they're going to bring guys in there that love Chicago. And you got to have somebody that loves Chicago and want to ride and die for them. You know, sometimes you get guys they just there. You know, some guys just getting a paycheck. You know, so.
How long would it take a coach nowadays to get fired if they drafted a quarterback in the first round and put him on special teams to run down on kickoffs?
Oh. With Dicker, you don't know.
Yeah.
Dick would draft Donnell Wolford in the first round, drove him around in the cart. Donnell came in, and Dick was so hot at Donnell one time, and Donnell said, "Man, what's wrong? What's wrong with it?" I said, "Man, just keep playing, man. It ain't no problem. You're gonna be all right." You know? But Dicker was a totally different character. You know, something I don't know what he's doing. I think he's going through some things right now. He's getting older, and his mind is going. Or I don't know, but you know, he's getting older. But like I say, back in the day, Dicker was the guy that will, you know, make you work hard. But like you say, who puts a quarterback on kickoff?
Yeah,
Dicker did.
Yeah.
If we can go back and find that film, he's on that kickoff.
Yeah.
He's right beside me, just ready. I looked at him like, you gonna beat me down there where you going? So.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love Harbaugh because I really think we've talked. We had Doug Plank talking with us. I've always said this, and no offense to your boy, I call him Millhouse. That's Ted Phillips. I just think under him, Millhouse has never grown up, and the Bears are suffering because they don't do things football first. They do things stupidity in regards to business first, this corporate kind of decisions. There's not football decisions. You need football people in there with the heartbeat of the importance of Chicago and the Chicago Bears and what it means to be accountable, blue collar, tough. All that shit sounds stupid to people, but the reality is the shit that you've done with Mark Trestman. We can go on and your boy. They supposedly hired, then he didn't. You brought him up, Dave McGinnis.
Yeah.
Dave McGinnis. Then they hired Jerron because McGinnis was pissed that the business sucks. You gotta get a football person in. I've said this before it's becoming vogue now. We've said this 8 years ago or 7 years ago now on the old network we were on. Somebody that loves the team, whether it be Gary Fensick, Mike Singletary as a president, Peyton Manning, if he understands what I believe he understands the history of the Chicago Bears and what it means to be a Bear. You got to get Doug Plank, whoever, somebody that knows football first, that is going to tell the manager or anybody in the organization, we're making football decisions. It might not be popular, but we're taking Deshaun Watson and his skinny ankles. I don't give a fuck. He wins. I am going to go out there and draft this running back because he plays with heart and passion. This receiver's loafing on 20 plays. Yeah, he's fucking talented as hell, but I don't want that cancer in my locker room. I want someone that's going to go out there and play the game like this kid Mooney plays the game, number 11. That's how you play the football game. But
you want to be dogs. You want to go out there and you want to and we're backed in the corner. And we're not in Chicago right now. We're backed in the corner, and we're not even coming out. We're gonna stay in that corner. We're just getting beat down in that corner, and it's tough. I mean, it hurts because you know back then, and even the guys before back then, if you talk to those guys, hey, our heart is in Chicago. That's what we have. Our heart is in Chicago. So I mean, we gotta do something, man. And I mean. We go 5-1. Really, we're not playing nobody. You can see it back then. We was bad at winning games, but then it came down to the meet our schedule in Green Bay. I got Green Bay fans and moved from Wisconsin up here now, and they Green Bay, yeah, and got a match. Bears suck. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Come on, but you know that's them in Green Bay, little cheeseheads. You know, we all right with them.
Yeah, it sucks. How big is that rivalry, and was it for you guys? What did it mean to you guys?
Oh man, it was big. If you lose in Green Bay, you lose in Green Bay. I don't think they like me too much in Green Bay, but I covered Sterling. Sterling was a great receiver. I mean, probably one of the best in the league, Sterling Sharp. And he always had this thing where he used to run up against us, and if you get on Sterling, he'll bump you off. But he's so short, thick. I mean, he's stocky, so he can bump you off. So I never played him like bump and run because he'll knock my little ass across the sideline or somewhere. But we always played with him tight and everything. So Sterling was great. Harris, the defensive end, he was a beast. He always talked. He talked the whole game.
Dumped Jim McMahon. Dumped him.
I don't even know if he talked. He talked so much. You never know what he do. You know, it's just crazy. He just talk. So, but like I say, Green Bay, we couldn't stand Green Bay. Not at that time. Philip Epps, all them guys, you know, we just couldn't stand them. We knew the rivalry, and hey, you wasn't coming to Chicago and beating us, you know, and that's how it happened. They'll win. We'll win here, but y'all, and they may win there, but we trying to beat you down there too. So
it meant something.
It'd be nice to get that back.
Yeah.
That philosophy back. Yeah.
I mean, I think Rodgers is a great quarterback. I like Rodgers. I mean, he know how to get in there. He know how to throw it. But I'll tell you what. We will be trying to knock Rodgers out and get the next quarterback in to see how good he is. That's how we'll play that game. We're trying to knock him out and see who the next quarterback going to be, because the next quarterback ain't that good because he'll be playing in front of Rodgers. So that's how we thought on the football field. You know, not no bounty, none of this here. We just played hard-nosed football, and we was the black and blue division, and we like to, you know, hit people and knock them out.
Well, I don't know how much longer we have you. Are you good to stay with us, or do you have to go?
You got me. I mean, just let me know how long you want to stay. I mean, you know.
Since we're going to get into our segments this week, and you're welcome to stay and play along. But before we do that, I always ask every guest, can you do a station ID? And that is you saying, hey, this is your boy Lemuel Stinson, former Chicago Bear, and you're listening to my boys Shane and Phil on the Tape Never Lies Network. Can you do that, or is that a lot?
Tape Never Lies Network. Tape Never Lies Network. Shane and Phil. Yeah, Shane and Phil. Okay, let's see what we got this.
I'm gonna isolate on you. I'm gonna put all the pressure on you.
Oh boy.
You're lowered up. Your brand.
Hey, this is Lemuel Stinson.
Hold on. I want to get.
He messed it up already.
You took off early on coverage, Harbaugh. Let's go back up.
Harbaugh was jumping.
That's a breakup.
All right, I'll count you down when you're ready. You ready?
Wait. Tell me one more time what I got to say.
This is former big cornerback Lemuel Stinson, and you're listening to my boys Shane and Phil on the Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies Network. All right.
You want me to put it on the screen for you to remember?
You ready? Tape Never Lies Network.
3, 2, 1.
This is your boy Lemuel Stinson from the Chicago Bears, number 32 in your program, number 1 in your heart. You listen to Shane and Phil on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Boom. Look at this guy.
Now, hey.
Knocking it out of the park.
I know I said something that you didn't say.
No, you
did it perfect.
You did it. I like the ad-libbing. Number 1 in your heart. I used to say that too.
Hey, that's it right there.
Number 22. I want
to say I love my Chicago fans, man. I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me and everything. So, you know, appreciate it.
Big plays are nice. They're good. We need more of those.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be nice, Coach? Every week we play a game. It's called Bear Up, Bear Down. And the Bear Up is the opposite of what you play. You know, Bear Down is normally, let's bear down Chicago Bear. But Bear Down is negative, though. We're going to say the Bear Down of the game. And then we're going to say the Bear Up of the game. So that would be the player that stood out in the game. So with the player that stunk up the field and the player that stood out, we always start it like this with the song, our original song, Lemuel.
Phil Ottochian, Shayne Marsaw. The Tape Never Lies Network.
A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up. This week, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw, the smartest man. Bear ups and bear downs of the week.
Oh yeah, bear up, bear down, Lemuel. Do you want to start us off? Because we always do the negative first. You can go first or last. Hold on, we got our other guy. Oh, I didn't know if he was showing up tonight. I thought maybe he had COVID with Claudio. Our whole crew is sick. Keys!
What's going on, gents?
Cars!
How you doing?
There he is. Lemuel, this is Matt Carstensen, our nerd, our resident nerd.
What's up, baby?
How you doing?
Were you
like
Matt,
that hat? Like that hat.
Thank you.
There you go.
I'm surprised he's wearing it this week, knowing Cars.
I mean, I'm as down as I've been as a fan for quite some time.
Welcome to the club.
You know, give me about 5 minutes and I can get myself going somewhere positive with it again, for sure.
Nerd
alert! Listen, since Lemuel's new to the game, I don't want to put pressure. He only knows numbers. He doesn't know names half the time. So we're going to start off negative, and we're going to start with you, Cars, so he understands the game. And then you always have to say, the player, you are my bear down. So, Cars, you're going to start us off. Thanks for coming in tonight. Your fans were worried about you, but now you're here. I was just texting Shane, where's Cars? Here's what's up, Cars. Look
I've been resetting passwords. It's an exciting day here in the Carstensen household, doing all my tech nerdy stuff. You know,
oh, trust me,
always
I know.
good. Always good.
So we're gonna snake it down. Cars is gonna start, then me, then Lemuel, then Shane. Shane will then come back with positive bear player. Lemuel will come with this positive. I'll come with mine, and then end with Cars. Are you ready, Cars? Who was your bear down?
I mean, there's a ton, I guess. It's really tricky for me to say. I think, wow, I can't pick just one. It's a struggle this week, you know. But I think for me, it's going to be Robert Quinn. I think, you know, I've made a lot of excuses. He's flashed a lot. He's shown close, but you're not getting 30 million guaranteed to get close to a quarterback. You got to put him on the ground at some point. And one sack through the season, and it really showed against, you know, I tweeted it the other day. How telling was it that when Detroit needed a play, Everson Griffin and Okaru hit up, and Mack and Quinn were nowhere to be found. So Robert Quinn is my bear down of the week.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from Robert on the tape. I just think that they were going three-step game.
I don't think he's healthy yet, quite honestly. I think there's, to me, he's still
3 or
playing with a
4
little
plays
hitch there. Yeah.
He got held and tackled by, what's his name, the left tackle, twice.
Decker,
Taylor Decker.
Yeah.
Taylor Decker. And the other time, he's coming and he's 1 step late, so...
Yeah, I don't think
First time I'm a little shocked that you went Quinn there. I really am.
You know, close doesn't cut it, right? At some point, you're not getting paid to you're getting paid to make a play, not almost make a play, not get close, not, you know, whatever. Yeah. And, you know, he's got a couple of counter moves, but Like at some point, he's a guy who's flash closing speed his entire career, and that is just not here. Like it's just not. It's not happening. So, like I get that he's getting close and he's generating some rush, but again, you know, you gotta put up more than that. You gotta get to the guy.
All right, we'll finish it out. Show Lemuel how you do it.
So Robert Quinn is my bear down.
There you go, Robert Quinn. I'm surprised. You chat, you could long and bear down as Zach Bradley went with the rookie. Listen, my bear down is very easy this week. It's consistently consistent, and it's every time I pop on the tape. Could easily go with a receiver, but that almost cost you the game, or did cost you the game. But I'm going to say this. Charles Leno,
I tweeted it and called it. Oh, I'm so happy.
Did you call my bear down?
I called your bear down, and I called the Barber's bear up of Mooney midway through when the second Leno got that penalty after the turnover.
Oh,
I knew
my
exactly
God.
where you were going.
Listen, the penalty, the false start, the holding penalty on 3rd and 1 after you got 9, and then you're getting the first down, and you're going to put this game away. He gets a hold. Then the freaking laziness on the sack.
It was
a
terrible.
Spin move that Everson Griffin has done it 4 times in this game, and Charles is getting beat. So you're not ready for it? The big moment in the game, oh my God. And then Lemuel, I've done tape breakdown, and you played on the professional level. I've never in the history of my life saw a toss play to the left tackle side where a left tackle blocked and touched nobody until this game. It is the most amazing thing. That link I sent you, I had to put music to it because I couldn't believe what had transpired in that game. And Charles Leno, lack of effort. They're running read option, Lemuel, and it's automatic pull. So the left tackle, all he has to do is step inside and get up on the backer. And this fucking loaf jog trot just got me so agitated because Mitch does it right. All he has to do is just step and get in front of, just wall, be a wall. Just be a wall. Don't be a wall. He loafs out there, and the linebacker just easy shoots up the gap like it's JV football on a Saturday morning. It's pathetic. There's my long to tell you that Charles Leno, you are my bear down again. That's 5 weeks I've counted that Charles Leno, number 72, has taken that prize. Maybe I get Josh E. Shane to make Leno a bear down trophy, and we'll send it to him. We'll send it to him.
Braggs can give it to him on the show.
Lemuel, you can give a number. We'll give the name. Who is your bear down this week?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. I got a couple of numbers, and they all in the secondary. Because that's where I played. The whole secondary is my bear down. Because you got to take pride in the game. You got to go handle your business, and you got to hit, and you got to tackle, and you got to read the ball, intercept the ball, we play the ball. They no technique right now. None of those guys are playing technique. They just out there playing, and to me, the whole secondary. So when they get ready to play the Texans, they need to handle their business. They need to come up and take it. So that's my bear down. The whole secondary, corner, safety, all of them. Hey, and I'll tell them to their face. They don't matter. Tell them ask Ted Phillips. He'll know. He'll say,
I don't want to ask Ted, except when he's walking out of it. I'll ask him, how was his stay? I'm glad you're gone, Ted.
Retired.
Fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
I miss Claudio.
If you're just the barber, has COVID. That's why he's not on the show tonight. And we got a special guest, Bears corner, Lemuel Stinson, one of my favorite players all time, is on the show tonight. He's joining us for bear down. Look at that. His bear down was the entire secondary. He pulled the cars and Phil. He went 1A, B, C, D.
Yeah. This week you could have gone through the alphabet twice.
Yeah.
Almost, and been pretty much all right. I mean, that's how bad of a game this was.
Shane Marsaw. Who do you got?
Well, before I get to mine real quick, got a little shout out here, Anthony Mendez. Happy birthday from everybody here. Number 38.
Happy birthday, Anthony Mendez.
Yep.
He's a TTNL patron, I believe, too.
He is. Well, before Lemuel pulled the okey doke on me and took the whole secondary, that's where I was going to go too. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball and talk about as bad as the Bears played, they still had a chance. And the guy that we see every week chirping away on Twitter and is pissed off about his contract. Well, you had the ball in your hand in money time, and you went out of bounds about a foot and a half short of the fourth down marker. Allen Robinson. That was tough. I mean, Phil, you saw it. If he's got a chance to house it.
Oh my God! The corner falls down. Lemuel. The corner fell 24. The rookie, right?
I remember.
He falls. He has no idea what's going on. He doesn't. He turns the wrong way. He makes a wide U-turn. As a receiver, you got to feel that guy in your back. There's nobody there. Turn and get up the field. Turn, sees. He sees the corner on the ground. And he still gets wide and steps out of bounds.
Yep, number 12.
He doesn't. All he had to do is dive at that point. When you make a mistake like that, get that first down. And the rest.
Lemuel, like you said, if you're gonna talk, you gotta have the ability to go out there and back it up, and you can't falter on a money down right there. I mean, game on the line, fourth down. It's right there. He puts it to makes it fourth down, I should say. But I don't know. It's Allen Robinson. I love the player, or like the player, I guess I should say. But if you're gonna be chirping all year long on social media and having your agent do a lot of work for you on Twitter by calling other players out and all of that ridiculousness, you better come through when you got the ball in your hands in money time. And number 12 did not. I mean, it was let's be honest. It was to me a huge turning point, because I was feeling pretty good about maybe Mitch taking him down there and punching it in for the score, and they didn't. So Allen Robinson for Lemuel, number 12. You are my bear down.
He and Eddie Jackson are suffering from the same thing. Because I want to toot my own horn, but when it push comes to shove, I'm not doing it on the field right now. Right, like.
Yep.
To Lemuel's point, you can't be sitting there talking about you don't get any targets, you don't get any. Maybe you are getting targeted. You're just in the wrong place, because you certainly aren't tackling guys like you're supposed to. So,
big time players make big time plays in the big time
games.
Moments. And he.
Lemuel Stinson did it. He picked off that pass to Michael Irvin down the sideline, and house called it. Phil won 500.
500. Lemuel.
Hey. Talk about playoffs? You kidding?
Not this team.
Listen, we're gonna go back around. We'll play this till we hear the bear up.
Phil Ottochian, Shayne Marsaw, the Tape Never Lies Network.
A bear up. There you go.
There it is.
Up. Shayne Marsaw, back to you. Bear up. Who do you?
And how perfect is this for me? I get to pick bear up first, and I get to do it with the number of our guest. It's number 32 for me tonight. For my bear up. Very, 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 very easy. David Montgomery. He was Mr. Everything. And the only person that could stop him was our head coach. And he did. he made that halftime adjustment. He's like, David, you're doing too much. We don't want to establish the run anymore. We're going to come out here and start slinging it. And he neutered him. For whatever reason, we've seen this play out many, many times. He had 11 carries at halftime, and he finished the game with 17, and we're leading the game by 10 points with 4:32 left. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. Big plays are nice. They're good. We need more of those.
Well, Lemuel, you talked about it. You talked about playing with that edge, playing, being that dog. Right now, I'm seeing that in number 32. I think he's starting to believe. They've made some changes on the offensive line. I think that's given him a little bit of confidence that he knows that if he gets to the hole, he's going to be able to get through the hole. I think he's starting to believe in those guys up front just a little bit more. Unfortunately, the head coach seems to be restricting him now, but to me, it was clear. I think probably every one of you guys, if I didn't take David Montgomery, was going to take him. So, David Montgomery, you are my bear up.
Yeah, great choice. That was my guy. I thought he ran with such heart, passion, and desire. The footwork, though, honestly, go watch the tape. Never lies. It's out. Those of you patrons, you are seeing both the offensive side and the defensive side. If you're not a patron subscriber, go to www.thetapeneverlies.com. Become a patron subscriber before December 31st. $7 a month. There's 457 of you. We're trying to get 500 before Christmas so we can have the patron show. Every week we're going to
461.
We're up. We're up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. So 457 before the show started. It's
Ted Phillips just bought one because Lemuel's been pumping about the show. He can afford to buy a couple more though, right? He held that last contract from Lemuel, so that's where he just spent that money.
Lemuel, we got the business out of the way. Who's your bear up from this game?
Well, I know I'm gonna take somebody, but I got to go. It's easy for me.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna leave him because I know somebody else gonna take that one. So I'm gonna go with 94.
Robert Quinn. So you
This might be the first time. Yeah. This might be the first time we've ever had a bear up and bear down be the same player.
Holy shit. It's fine. We should just isolate on the two and let you battle it out here. Go ahead. Talk about it.
He's getting chipped. He's getting double teamed. He's taking the slack from Mac. What they doing to Mac over there? So I see him working and trying to get there and doing the things and getting around the edge, but it just a little bit more aggressive. And I think he'll be okay. It looked like he has a fight in him. And I saw a couple of plays that he made, and I thought that he's doing pretty good. Now, as far as the couple of runs that happened on him. Yeah, you're going to get that. Sometimes Richard Dent didn't make a tackle. Sometimes he did make a tackle. It was right. Trace Armstrong didn't make a tackle, but he's not gonna have a great game every time, but he shows up to play. He shows up to play. To me, he shows up to play a little bit. I could easily pick Mac, but I think,
you could have picked Mac. You're the big time guest here tonight.
Yeah.
Former Bear.
Well, I'm a guest, I'll
Listen,
say guest.
We're always feeding
the
guests.
I'll be here next week for you.
There you go.
Well, we love fans. Love you in the chat. We're gonna get you the we're gonna get you the freaking roster. You're gonna study it over the week. You're gonna know everybody's college.
Oh no!
And did it to Claudio back in the day.
Tests, you're in a lot of trouble. Phil cheats on his tests.
Listen, I agree with. Put it up on the tape. Never lies that. Other people are going after Quinn and Mac, and they just absolutely don't know what the hell they're talking about. The whole game plan for Detroit was to take away Mac, chip on Robert Quinn as much as they could, and Akeem Hicks did not play a great game effort-wise, fundamental, standing up. It was a loafs in there, so I'm just keeping it 100 with Akeem. play better. I know he didn't play against Green Bay. He came back, but there was opportunities there. And Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack played great. I agree. I'm sorry. Even when I questioned Cars, I love Cars, but I was with you. So now you have to say it. Robert Quinn, you are my bear up.
Who I say to me?
Go ahead, Lemuel. That's on you.
Robert Quinn, you who my bear up.
There you go. See, I hold everybody accountable like Dick.
94.
94.
94. Hey, it's good to remember the number.
That's right.
Listen, I'm going to go in a certain way. I want to go Mac, but it's too easy for me. Should I do that? Because I just am tired. Just watch the tape. Go tape never lies. Become a patron. I only put one defensive play up there this week, and it was Khalil Mack's sack. Yeah. And it just tells you, become a patron so you see the whole truth about Mack. Because the effort there, I'm just going to... Number 52 played his ass off. They're getting chipped. He's getting held. He's getting full teamed. On one, they do a whole mirror drill, Lemieux, and they take the left tackle and the running back, and they both mirror him and shade him out, and Stafford rolls to his right to set up. Everything in the protection is to go away from Khalil. That's how you know how dominant a player is, and it's always there with Khalil Mack. I'm watching the tape. There's a play where he just absolutely destroys the whole thing, and he jukes the tight end and beats him so easily. And then Adrian Peterson, who's one of the greatest blitz pickup backs you'll ever see. I mean, this guy will put it in your... He puts Adrian Peterson like he's a wind in a sail. Just whoop, goes by him, and then Matt Stafford throws the ball right at Adrian Peterson. Otherwise, that's a sack there. Then there's an intentional grounding that they didn't call where Mack is just destroying. So it's worth the watch. Don't listen to these haters. Khalil Mack, you are my bear up this week. Here you go, Lemuel. You were right. I should have taken it. Go ahead, Cars. I didn't want to steal your positive player, but go ahead.
Mine is Sam Mustipher. You know, it's been really nice to see the interior of the offensive line blocking people and opening holes.
What a novel concept.
It's super crazy. You know, it's unfortunate right now. I was texting Shane earlier. It's unfortunate right now. We found 4 offensive linemen who could probably play, and all 4 of them play the center or guard position in Bars, Mustipher, James Daniels, and Cody Whitehair. So someone's going to have to probably get moved at some point.
I would put Whitehair at left tackle tomorrow and start grooming that guy.
I look him at right. I don't.
I think he. Go ahead.
I would just be interested on that one. But Mustipher's been a revelation at that position. It's allowed Cody to go somewhere where he's better and not worrying about the snaps. He's a lot more physical. He's definitely a kind of a setter of the tone for that offense. You know, you mentioned it last week when guys are getting chippy, it's Mustipher and Bars that are showing up going, you're not touching our guy, while, you know, Charles Leno is talking about the B+ he just gave himself when he's picking himself off the ground after missing a spin move. So
helping everybody up.
Sam Mustipher is my bears up for the week.
The only bears up Leno has gotten is him helping the quarterback up, and he's like, "That's our bear up this week." He's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I graded Bars off. I thought he was awful in this game. He had 2 plays that he played really well, but fundamentally and technically he wasn't. Mustipher was a great choice. This kid's growing up before your eyes. There's the big touchdown run is Mustipher getting the crucial swinging ass, get in the way, deliver, and stay your ground. He does a great job scoop blocking that nose guard, getting a crease right in for him.
And we lost him.
And we lost him.
Yep. He's frozen. I don't know if he can hear. There he goes. He bounces out. But yeah, no, I think you make a great point, Cars, because this is exactly the type of thing that the Chicago Bears need, and they needed to discover a guy like that because, I mean, obviously, offensive line is going to be a main focus to whoever is going to try to fix this issue heading into the offseason. We don't really know what's going to happen. Are they going to clean house? You know, is Pace going to be here? We'll figure all of that stuff out, but for them to bring this kid in as an undrafted free agent, and to Phil's point too, you know, Alex Bars I thought did struggle too, but they've bounced this kid everywhere.
Right.
And I don't think that's something we've seen in Chicago. I understand you want to preach versatility, and that's the quickest way to get you on the field, but man, it's at some point you have to be able to settle into one or two spots rather than playing three of them, you know, week to week to week. And I think that's going to part of what is stunting his growth. And, you know, worst case scenario, I think he can be a quality backup that you bounce around. You know, Cars, you mentioned the four guys. Like when I texted you back in that reply, that gives us three starters and a backup on the inside. Yeah, exactly. Finally. So, but no, it's nice that they have some young options there, young versatile options. But to me, if you're going to put the spotlight on a guy, Mustipher is a fantastic choice.
Yeah. Am I back okay now?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, good.
Yeah, usually lasts for a little bit and then it goes.
I have the internet company coming tomorrow because they have an issue with the internet here, their service. So it's up and down and they can't fix it. And I've had 5 texts come out. I went ballistic on the phone today with them. And
I'm sure you did. Yeah.
$60 off my bill is not my big win. I want this to be just stable and fixed.
Get what you're paying for, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me what you pay for. Anyway, that is Bear Up, Bear Down, sponsored by Cars Keys. Cars Keys. You could find them on Cars' dresser sometimes.
You can make that cash out. Or that checkout to cash, Cars. Sponsorship.
Perfect. Yeah,
give you a promo.
You guys take those rubber ones, right?
Yeah,
rubber
exactly.
checks. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Listen, Lemuel Stinson, you've been a tremendous guest, an amazing person. Where could people follow you? Can they follow you? Are you on Twitter or any of these? You're on the Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on. I think on everything. I'm not sure. I know you look at Lemonhead Stinson. I'm on Facebook on Lemonhead Stinson. We got a lot of things we do on there, and like I say, we always do a Sunday event with a sports bar over and under sports bar in Clear Lake. I mean in Webster, and nice. we there every Bears game. So we always there in Stadia Sports Bar and Grill. So.
Nice.
We have that's where we at most of the time, and we sit down, we watch the Bears game, and fans come up and talk, and like I say, we bring guys out to come and have a good time, and we enjoy it. So we like having fun.
Well, you were fun tonight. You really brought the energy and some stories. We're gonna have you back on to give us some more stories. We got to hear that.
We're gonna have to have the after hours Jimbo Covert story from Lemonhead.
Jimbo gonna beat me up.
You're faster than he is. You can outrun him.
Yeah, he doesn't have the knees anymore. You probably
I can't run from him now. Pull a hamstring in 2 steps.
There you go.
As long as you have your drink and your 2-step, you're good.
Yeah, that's sometimes good.
Listen, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. I reached out to this man. I said, I'm one of my heroes as a kid growing up, not because I just won the 500, but even more so tonight for showing up here and really entertaining everybody. But finding out that you were 150 pounds playing in the NFL, that is a real testament to your athleticism. I know you were a hurdler, but you also put your face in there and tackled people. That is keeping it 100.
Oh yeah. So I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I enjoyed it. I ran out to get these headphones. Me and my wife were riding down the street and I had to get these headphones because I didn't have none to come to the computer. Then I said, "Oh boy, what do I do?" So she set it up and everything. And
well, now you're all set for when we have you back, man.
Now, next time I'm all good. I'm all good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring you. We're definitely gotta bring you back on.
Yeah, when Ted Phillips retires Lemuel, we're gonna have you on that show.
Absolutely. That's gonna be a 12-hour telethon when we do this, and a full-on celebration.
150 pounds.
Ted Phillips retired.
Yeah.
150 pounds of pure heart, as Toby Hill has eloquently said, and that is the truth. What a good man. Everybody in the chat is telling you how much they appreciated you jumping on the show, taking us back down memory lane. But we're definitely going to have you back, Lemuel.
Absolutely.
We're here every Wednesday night, keeping it 100.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Much love to all my Chicago fans. Love you. Love you. Thank you for being so sweet. Chi-Town. And I was the Chicago kid too.
That's right. That's right. All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Chicago kid.
Kiss your kids. Tell your wife thank you, and God bless you. We'll be talking. Absolutely, and I'll send you the show tomorrow. God bless you. That guy, Lemuel Stinson,
bringing the passion, man. That's
bringing the passion.
That's what we love on here. Yeah.
That's what we do. We don't just go for the here and now. We go for the story, the heart, the truth, and the passion. And Lemuel Stinson, like Obi said, he played with heart and passion. He told you the accountability, kept it 100.
Yep.
Just a really good person and a really good man and father. We didn't get into that, but we're definitely going to have Lemuel back because he has exactly what it is we talk about here all the time. He has the truth in his heart, and that kind of passion comes through. It's not phony. It's not fake. But anyway.
I'm sorry. The what? I'm just really confused right now.
There you go. Think you froze again, Phil. Did he freeze? Yeah, he did.
Yep.
We lost him again.
Well, Shane, it's about time. It's only you and I.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
My back? No.
Can't see you, man. There, you're
choppy.
You're real choppy. No. Try the reboot, Phil, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so Cars,
I don't know what to do with this right now. Like, we get to talk. I feel like Ricky Bobby. Like, what do I do with my hands?
Exactly.
Right now? Very weird.
First Claudio and now Phil. I don't know. Is he texting me right now? But what are your? I don't know. What is he? Just a second. He's texting me, I think. But moving into this week, I know we're not gonna. I guess we can get into that. I can put it up there. Moving into this week versus Houston. What are your thoughts on going into that? Because I see, you got Deshaun coming here.
Do you know we could have drafted Deshaun?
Yeah,
exactly. There's only 47 articles that have been out today about.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea. It was. Crazy.
But you have Patrick Mahomes coming and counting his fingers in Soldier Field, and now you know damn well it's going to be happening again. And do you have any confidence at all in this team being able to go out there and do anything, or do you think along with pretty much how we are, do you think that they've called it a day and folded it up?
Well, I think it's folded up. The hard part is really the Texans don't have a lot of talent on offense at the skill position. There shouldn't be, this game in a normal situation shouldn't even be close. But look at what Watson and that offense did last week. Like, them pulling and being close in that game is a game they really had no business being in. Like, I'm not afraid of their defense. I'm not really afraid of their offense. But I just feel like the team has kind of been like, this is it. It's done. It's game over. And so aside from the young guys like Monty and it feels like Komet is really coming on strong at this point. Mitch trying to prove something. Everybody else that seems to have a guaranteed contract right now is on full-on coast mode. I mean, that's really what it looks like on the field, and everybody knows they're not making the playoffs, so no one really gives a shit for them right now. So.
Yeah, Phil, they drew up a play for Komet. What is going on?
Am I back? Am I all right?
You're
Firefox, but I'm hardwired all the way from the router, not even going on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think that there's an issue outside of your
it's the
house.
internet service provider, because
it's
unfortunate. It gets me so like I get fired, sweat off my head. I get so angry with this shit. Anyway, let's push through the show. On this, what's our next? Because closed out, so we got tweets, right?
We can.
All right, so let's do the tweets. Hopefully we get through that. Tomorrow they come and fix my internet for good, and we could do this poem. Have that, Shane?
Yeah. No, I got you.
There we go. Hope I don't freeze.
You'll be good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Phil's fucking internet still fucking sucks, yeah.
He's the smartest man. He's as tough as they come, delivering the mail in the rain, sleet, snow, and never showing tenderness. If he's hired as the GM, he's got his coach already made, as I can promise there'll be no coaching negligence. He's the smartest man, and this is his dumbest tweet of the week.
Look at you, man. I'm doing Claudio's work over here. We're getting this all going. So yeah, this is it. Phil, you and I talked a little bit before the show about this. This was a tweet that kind of went viral on Twitter, obviously, and doesn't really have
viral on Twitter.
Yeah, can you believe that? But it's not, doesn't really have anything to do with the Chicago Bears, but it has everything to do with our favorite sport in football, and it's football at the 9U level. And I want you guys to watch this video. Phil, if you want to take that comment down off there so everybody can see it, and I'll roll this video so everybody in the chat room can comment on it and let me know what you think. But here we go.
Oh, look at him. Look at him. Whoa. Oh. What the hell? Wow. What the? Hey, this is going viral. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, Phil and I, that's the 9U level. And like I said, I know all of us and our, we're from a different era where things were a little more physical. But oh man, I obviously we all have our own kids now, and my son is 9 years old. I see that, man. I don't know how the other coaches, if you look in the back of that video, the referees are standing right there. Not moving it. I mean, this dude's out here throwing haymakers, and oh man, I would be jumping out of the stands. I'd be handling that myself. That's not going to happen on my watch. And I mean, these kids are, this is where they're supposed to be learning. Lemuel talked about fundamentals and how important that is at the NFL level. And I mean, this is where you're supposed to be teaching that. And this this coach isn't seeing what he wants, and he's out there throwing haymakers at a 9-year-old, not just one, but a second one, and then a third one. And I don't have the video of it, but he made an apology and wanted to apologize to everybody that saw that. And his response was, where I screwed up was I did that in public when I should have handled it in private.
Yeah, so
I'm like, well, just, Phil, how many times have we talked about holstering the tweeter and stuff like that? I'm like, dude, your apology just dug you a deeper hole. And the organization that runs this 9U, their leadership is, their quote was, yeah, maybe he took it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
It's like,
Listen, I'm a stern coach. My wife will tell you, and I'm hard, but
Sure.
you never put hands on a kid. You definitely want to hold people accountable, but that whole situation looks like complete wrongful coaching and leadership, and the refs standing in the huddle over there. And
Yep.
parents, somebody needed to step in and throw this guy the hell out of there. Like, if that was,
that's your son, Phil, and you're sitting in the stands. What are you doing
at that point?
I've had a coach where I felt like he crossed the line, and I made sure everybody knew it right at that moment. I don't get down like that. That's wrong. And I know coaching and listening, and kids could be fucking around and doing whatever, grab assing, as I would call it, but that's never the case. You don't swing on a little kid. It's just ridiculous.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
And then to go it's bad.
After the first one, there would have been an issue. There would have been no second or third. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I know we went a totally different direction with tweets this week, but I saw that and that was all over Twitter, and I saw that and I'm like, oh man, things like this you need to bring to light, because believe me, I've
tackled the tough things on the Keepin 100.
Born and raised around sports my entire life, and like I said, all of us are just about the same age. We're from a different era than what I'm way different with my son than my dad was with me. I mean, totally different. And there's things that I would never do to my son. It was a different time. But man, I see that and I'm like, oh, I don't know how. The thing that concerns me more so than even the worst thing is that the guy did it, but where is, you can hear the crowd, you can hear the people in the stands, and
bully, though.
nobody does anything.
On Twitter.
This is how I know I'm getting,
and don't do nothing.
Oh, you're saying that guy installs solar panels?
Somebody has to step in and do something about it. I mean,
no, everybody just records it now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
People get the shit kicked out of him, do whatever, assaulted, and people just sit there and take a video of it. And like, if you're sitting there and you're commenting as you're recording, this is going to go viral, then you don't give a shit either. And you're part of the
exactly.
Problem. That's a great point.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat say, I had coaches put the fear of God in me too, but they never put their hands on me. There was a couple of times I thought they were going to, but
you could put fear in somebody by just being stern and using your words and holding them accountable like that. That physical bullying is just ridiculous. Especially, I'm surprised that, when did that happen?
I don't have the date. I was looking around I did see the apology. I guess I didn't match up the dates, but I just saw that it was bouncing all over Twitter today and tonight. And man, I said that dude
I remember getting hit with a pebble in the helmet. And that fucking echoes in your ear.
Sure, yeah.
So I can only imagine someone smacking a little kid. If he has a wedding ring, probably not married, but if he has something, that noise and alone, forget about the smack. It's unnecessary. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it just bothers me as a parent, as
I wanted to bring it up.
As a father of a 9-year-old myself, if that's Carr's kid or your kid, Phil, or or any kid for that matter, if I'm there and I'm in the stands, there's no way in hell me being built the way that I'm built that I'm sitting there. I'm out on that field, and no way I could sit there.
The last words to my wife are, "Get the bail money ready."
Yeah, exactly.
Let's roll.
Yep.
Anybody knows me knows that I would jump the fence.
Yeah.
And I would be in this guy's face, and I didn't care. And then, listen, I think this is an exercise in all of us recognizing, especially you TTNL people, patron or not, knowing enough is enough with the social media shit. Let's stand up for the right thing.
Right.
Do the right thing. Not talking about a black or white thing.
Right.
Go out there and handle the truth. For
Chubb says it perfect right there. Yeah. I don't mind my kid getting yelled at and confronted by a leader, but don't be punching my kid like he's a grown man. Then we got a problem. That's it exactly. I have no problem. I mean, there was times growing up in school. Yeah, I've been a smart ass my whole life, been in trouble and all of that. But there was times where I'd get in trouble by my teachers. My parents would be like, "Yeah, take care of them. Do what you got to do." And that's the way that I was, and I'm the same way. Hey, if my son gets in trouble, I have no problem if they're gonna hold him accountable and do that stuff. But you want to be physical with my son, then we're gonna have a big problem.
Absolutely.
Listen, I yoked the kid up at Truthful by the jersey like this. He took a cheap shot on one of our players that was special needs. He was autistic.
Yeah.
And I gave him the football as a testament. This kid came up and fucking pulled the Jalen Johnson, the blindside hit, and knocked this fucking kid ass over TCAL. I fucking lost it. I'm like, you are a starting player, and you just did that to this kid. And I blacked out, guys. But I never hit him. I just grabbed him. It was in practice. And sternly said, "You never do that." And the whole team, like, quiet. You could have heard a fucking drop. It was so quiet and desolate. And this kid started. I can feel it now. Yeah. I get a little emotional. He started bawling down, and he knew he did wrong. Sure. That lesson was learned right there.
Yep.
But I reacted so disappointed in this kid. I told him that. And I made him help that kid up. And that's where it went from there.
But you see that there was no there was no remorse on that coach. I mean, he's turning to the crowd like, almost flexing. Yeah, get off the field. And then his apology, he made it even worse. I should have did that in private. Yeah. Like, bro, oh my God,
that'll set you off. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. Like I said, I think the more people that see stuff like that, it's better that you're aware of it and share your thoughts and everything. I talked to Phil about it a little bit before I even decided to use it on the show tonight, but we both agreed that we thought it was important to share it with you guys because it's good to create debate and speak on it. And there could be, who knows, people that are on the other side of the fence for whatever reason they may have. I don't agree with it whatsoever, but I just wanted to make everybody aware of it anyway.
Good stuff, man. Good conversation. And listen, some people don't know and learn.
Yeah.
It's okay. If you thought other and then you're like, oh, wait a second. That's embarrassing. These guys are right or whatever. It is a learning. The show is always tackling the tough commentary and the tough issues.
Yeah, 100%. So that deserves to be the.
You can't be any other one after seeing that.
Yeah. All right. Braggs didn't tweet much this week, so he can't. I mean, other than that, he was gonna. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So let's roll this again.
Roll without Claudio. He has COVID.
This makes me sad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Nobody's laying a finger on my fucking 9-year-old. Yeah.
He's the smartest man. Imagine a network blaming Khalil Mack for all the Bears fails. It's no wonder Shane and Phil bought a yacht and put up their wind and sails. He's the smartest man, and this is the best tweet of the week.
Yeah.
Bad with the fade out.
Yeah, I was working. I hit the wrong button here, but yeah, we took a little bit different approach on the tweets this week, but this off season, as everybody knows, is going to be a very interesting one. I think that it's not going to take us too long after our last game. They refer to it as Black Monday in the NFL. The last games are on Sunday. The following day is when people start to lose their jobs. I expect if the Bears decide to move in that direction, which hopefully they do, I think we'll hear about it then. Hopefully, Sylvie was talking about it he went on with Hogan Johns, and they were saying that they hope that George is doing his due diligence, has been doing it already to this point. Has he or not? But everybody's heard Cars. You and I talked about this a little bit. I talked about it with Greg Braggs a little bit today too. And 10% ownership in the Chicago Bears is Pat Ryan. You've heard the name, Cars. Billionaire Pat Ryan, who's big in Northwestern. And I heard today, I'm not sure if this is true or not, I heard it from friend of the show, Greg Braggs, that if and when the Chicago Bears are sold, Pat Ryan has first dibs.
Really?
To purchase the Chicago Bears.
It would make sense as him.
Yeah, with him being 10%.
Yeah.
How much? What does he do for a living, Cars? Do you know?
He was insurance. He was Aon. Excuse me. So he was. Or one of the guys. So one of the guys that owns 10%. The other guy is the McDonald's guy, and Ryan started Aon, and so he's
multi-billionaire, and he's
multi-billionaire.
I guess when he bought
Field.
in, exactly. Well, pretty much everything at Northwestern is named after him. Right.
Holy shit.
So we all know how
old.
Yeah, he's old, but I don't know what he's got. He must have children, and I mean, how old did you say he was? 83?
93.
Oh, 93. So he's a spring chicken compared to our current owner. Is what you're saying, right? But no,
pretty much.
Well, everybody's favorite Jason Lockenforth sent out a tweet talking about Pat Fitzgerald is going to be very, very high on the list if the Bears do move into a different direction away from Matt Nagy. And Teddy Greenstein, who used to work for the Chicago Tribune, who recently left, did his last article on October 24th that he wrote for the Trib was all about Pat Fitzgerald. Spent some time with him, knows him very, very well. And Teddy Greenstein sent this out in reference to Jason Lockenforth's tweet. Phil, if you want to just bounce that comment off there. Lockenforth said if the Bears make a coaching change, and it's becoming increasingly likely they will do so, they'll look within the state first. And he's obviously speaking about Pat Fitzgerald, the head coach of Northwestern. And Teddy Greenstein, who I was just referring to, said Fitzgerald didn't take the Michigan gig that went to Hoke. He declined to interview with the Packers 2 years ago. But if Matt Nagy gets dumped, look out.
Wow.
I would not overlook that. Cars, you know just as well as I do, this is the typical Chicago Bears way, that it's preordained and it's something, and Pat Ryan has his guy. Word on the street is that is exactly who he would want as the Chicago Bears head coach. Not saying that it's going to happen, but with this franchise, we've seen time and time and time again, there's always something else that's set up, or like I said, preordained. And Lockenforth, everybody knows I hate the dude, but listen, he put that out there, and I'm not going to discount it at all.
It's the most Bears thing to do, right?
I agree.
To throw up it's what the Bulls used to do, right? To throw up the facade of, we're going to do this hardcore research. We're going to leave no stone unturned. And then 2 days into it, they're going to hire a guy.
So Ryan is 83, not 93.
That's right.
So
I right. Sorry.
Yeah, way to be good with numbers, nerd. But anyways.
Well, sorry, 83 or 93.
Yeah.
Nerd alert!
He's still drinking Ensure shakes for lunch, right?
Yeah, he's definitely taken... Anyway.
Yeah, so it's one more thing. Like we said, we want to cover all the ground for everybody here, but you start to see these things and you see, the ownership group, and you start to slowly put these pieces together, and we all know the history with this team, and like I said, I'm not going to discount it at all.
Yeah. No, it's the most Bears thing to do. Like, it's why do something different? Let's just go with somebody we know. Let's just, I told Shane the other day, it's 100% chance your head coach is either going to be Harbaugh or Fitz. There's 100% chance. There's no one else that's going to be.
Really?
It's the most Bears thing to do. Think about it. They've had all this trouble. So what do they go to? They go to the well of, these guys know us. They know our history. They know how important winning is to our franchise. It's not that important to this franchise, but shh. And that's the way that we'll go through and do it, right? Like we always make the joke about, they'll hire Harbaugh and they'll bring in Singletary as defensive coordinator, and they'll have Olin Kreutz come in and coach the offensive line, right? All these things that we always hear. Like, yeah, they would ideally rather do that because.
Yeah. And this is the thing too. Like, I don't want to discount Pat Fitzgerald either. I am a little intrigued. I don't know. I don't follow Northwestern, but I think that there is some intrigue there. There's an unknown there, and I think that that's probably the Hogan Johns podcast that they did with Sylvie. I would suggest everybody go out there and listen to that. I listened to it today. At the end of the interview, they start talking, and Kevin Fishbane came on. Kevin Fishbane is an alum. Adam Hogue, works the sidelines for Northwestern, and they're talking about the Big Ten champions and stuff like that. And Kevin Fishbane said, well, if Northwestern is the Big Ten champ, that's a hell of a way for Pat Fitzgerald to go out to his next team. And then everybody on the panel got extremely silent. And Adam Hogue said, well, who would be that next team, Kevin? And then they just all started laughing, because they all knew they knew where he was going with it. And Kevin Fishbane said, got me a little bit worried. He goes, if you're worried about the way that Matt Nagy uses his timeouts, just wait until you get a hold of Pat Fitzgerald. And then they started talking about how Pat Fitzgerald would handle the media and handle the fans of the Chicago Bears, because he said Northwestern post-game, it's not the Chicago Tribune isn't there, the Chicago Sun-Times isn't there. 99% of the questions that he gets post-game in his post-game pressers are from students.
Oh yeah, and there's not even just that. He's so I like the idea of a program builder, right? Like what Rule is doing at Carolina.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's intrigue there, but there's still
he is so conservative in his play calling. Like he gets killed for being conservative in the college game, and if you can win, I love when they all got angry when was it Joey Galloway referred to them as a bunch of Reese Davises, right? Because it's a bunch of 3-star white guys playing football that attain more, and I love that as the ideal. But if you do it, you got to pair him with either someone who's going to be ultra aggressive on the offensive side, or else it's going to be I'd be terrified of what that offense would look like.
See, I like this guy because of what you're saying, what he's done with Northwestern.
Absolutely.
The recruiting class and talent that he gets there is half of what.
Yeah, you can't deny that. I mean, Northwestern. Remember Northwestern way back in the day with Darnell Autry and stuff like that. I can remember when they burst on the scene. Back then I was a lot younger. And you're like Northwestern, and then they kind of went away. But then Pat Fitzgerald comes on the scene, takes them over, and
his name Barnett. He ended up going.
Gary Barnett.
Yeah, Gary. He went to Colorado. Yep.
Yeah. So this guy is a former inside linebacker. He knows the game. He's a leader of men. He obviously uses that as motivation. Us against, especially at that program. I don't. Everyone asks that
You're freezing.
Yeah, you're freezing again.
Yeah, I could see it when you guys spin. But anyway, everyone knows this guy. I don't know him personally. They asked me who I like. The reason why I like Harbaugh, even though I've liked him for.
Yeah,
we were on a message board with cars. I've liked this guy as a football coach because of accountability, because of aggressiveness, because of the ability to change with the personnel that you have and not just say, I'm going to run my system. Now, college is different than the pros. You get what you get in regards to recruiting. So it's hard to say, oh, this guy sucks because of this. What Fitzgerald has done with that says a lot about him as a coach. That's all I could see. So he's passing that litmus test, and that makes him an intriguing
Maybe he'll bring back those shoulder pads.
There you go. I had those types of pads back in the day.
No, it's the thing that scares me with Harbaugh is just been like the AD at Michigan doesn't even talk to him, doesn't even want to deal with him, which was the same problems that got him run out of San Fran. Like if you get Harbaugh, you're getting 3, maybe 4 years.
He doesn't deal with politics and corporate shit. He does not want that. He's what Ballard was saying to McCaskey. Either get Ted the fuck out of here, Jay Cutler the black cloud, and let me focus. He's that. So he knows, like I said, where the shit stinks in Hallis Hall. He knows where that is.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. And he's maniacal. Pat Fitzgerald seems to be maniacal to me when I watch it. Granted, they lost to Michigan State when I was watching them, but his kids play fucking hard, and they tackle, and they go after, and he teaches fundamentals. So what are you going to do? Until it happens, we will cover it. I can guarantee you that. But it is intriguing, Shane.
Well, yeah, that's like I said. I took a little bit different approach to the tweets this week. I wanted to make you guys think, in two totally different directions. But we got a lot going on. I see there's a lot of people in the chat, and who do you want as your next head coach? And like I said, I know there's Swanky seems to ask draft questions every week, and we tell him the same thing. We got lots. We're December. There's 4 games left. We got lots of time to get into that. And
we have 4 more games to drink ourselves through. Let us get through those.
But this is the thing, though. This should be where George McCaskey does put his fingers in and said, you know what, you need to play this fucking guy because I need to see if he's going to be here next year. Riley Ridley, you're going to fucking play. You need to see like Sam Mustipher, like I said, how was he not playing earlier when they needed guys? You know what I mean? But it's just that this is what I never have understood with this football team. It's pure craziness to me. You got a guy like DHC who goes out there and has made plays this year when he's needed to make them. To me, I'm putting him out there now over Gibson. To just put him, they're not the same guy. The physicality is different. I get it. I'm putting him out there. You have 4 games left. See what you have in him. You never know how these guys are what's going to happen when you give them their shot. Look at Sam Mustipher's running with it. Maybe DHC runs with it. You don't know. And that's exactly what they should be. Did you notice who played on defense this week? Somebody that we haven't seen, number 99. Yep. He was out there.
Gibson.
Yeah.
A guy that we, by the way, gave up an extra pick.
Yeah.
A 4th-round pick in this draft to secure, and it took until week 12 for him to finally see the field.
Well, he saw it earlier, and he fucking got railroaded. And then they held him accountable. Now he went out. He played hard.
They seem to do that with the rookies, and they actually seem to be a little bit too hard on them. But Hector has a thing here. I heard the name Dave Tobe. The word on Dave Tobe is he's interviewed. The things that I've heard is that he's totally fallen fucking flat with who he wants on his coaching staff, and that he's been pretty awful in interviews.
It has been a 8-year process of him being a candidate by now. Because he left under Lovey, right? He was Lovey's guy and left during that time. It's at some point you got to wonder. It's not that he hasn't been getting interviews, which is the opposite of the Vic Fangio, right? He's been getting interviews every year and just hasn't gotten it.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Special teams coaches like John Harbaugh, Mike Ditka, there's plenty more that have gone on to be head coaches. They have to coach everybody. They got to be good communicators.
And that's one more thing about you talking about being a communicator. One more thing that Sylvie was on the beat back when they fired Wanstead, and they did that whole thing, and they're trying to figure out who was going to come in. Remember, Phil, you talked about the Dave McGinnis fiasco and all of that.
Yep.
If you remember, these coaches would come in and interview, and then the Bears would usher them out, and there would be an immediate press conference with the guy. And Sylvie said that was
Grimm.
The McClaskey family.
Gunther Cunningham was up for the job then. Do you remember Gunther? Gunther Cunningham. Yep. But Dave McGinnis, Dick Duron. Well, Sylvie said that part of the Chicago Bears process was to usher these guys out immediately in front of the press, and the Chicago Bears recorded all of it. And they used these press conferences as part of their hiring process to see how they were in front of the media. Sylvie was sitting there when Dick Duron had his press conference after he interviewed, and Sylvie said I think he said it was to Rick Morrissey, and he said, this guy ain't going to get the fucking job. Said that about Dick Duron, and 2 days later, he got the fucking head coaching job.
Plays are nice. They're good. We need more of those.
If you think about it, what's always fascinating to me is a charter franchise.
Yeah, I know.
And we always hear about that and how that matters. No charter franchise should ever go and hire Dick Duron. If the job is that amazing, Dick Duron should never. No charter franchise should have ever hired Mark Trestman.
Yeah,
these are not those kind of moves. And to go back to the George thing, and I know this is getting off the rails and we're weeks ahead, but George and Ted have been a part of every interview. They've been a part of every decision, and they do these. We drafted a quarterback because he made a secret reservation at a steakhouse at the UNC, campus under a private name, and that blew Ryan Pace away. The way that we look at people and value people has just been wrong. So ideally you would want George to be involved enough to say hey, why isn't Riley Ridley playing? But Jesus Christ, we always heard that Dick Duron was untouchable. And when they hired Jerry Angelo, they forced him on Jerry Angelo. Why? Because he went to church with the McCaskies every week, right? These are the things that they pay more attention to that give me completely terrified situations.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Do you remember when Dick Duron got fired? Do you remember Brian Urlacher came out and said, I don't want to play for another head coach.
Yeah.
He said the same thing about Lovey. He said the same thing about Lovey Smith. And then, it was Urlacher was broken down. Let's just be honest at that point.
Yeah.
And he didn't play for another coach after Lovey Smith. But that's the thing. And I get it. And it's going to, I look at
Mark Trestman over Bruce Arians. End of story.
That comes second to Ballard over over
Ryan
over Pace. That is still.
Speaking of Pace, since you brought him up, let's play this for Mr. Pace.
Oh, Ryan Pace is the rifle. In springtime, he's a typo. But in season, he don't show. Where does he go? Where does he go? Where does he go? His draft picks keep on dropping. All his first round picks are flopping. In the first round, we have nothing to show. Ryan, oh, Ryan, oh, Ryan, oh. When he finally gets his guy, he can handle the media storm. Dinner reservations at night made Ryan all happy and warm. The fan base is slowly dying. When the cord and Mitch was driving, made Pace just love him so. Pace must go, Pace must go, Pace must go.
There you go. Keeping it 100. Always something different here on the best channel. Draft Dr. Phil. There you go. Pace
and you know
must
what's
go. Pace
you know what the
must
good part about tonight is?
And we're gonna.
Hey, no cut it out. Hey.
No cut it out. But let's get into our last segment, the Cherie Burnett segment.
I mean, if I'm going to root for a team, I want to give it all I got.
Next play. Pass. 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 Pass.
There was no rhyme or reason.
You drove down the field. Mr. Montgomery breaks a huge run. If he scores on the run, you don't got to worry. But you do got to worry because he gets tackled at the freaking 15.
There was no rhyme or
Next play, shotgun.
The tape never lies.
Bold prediction. What's your prediction?
What's your prediction? The old line is playing shitty. What's the skinny? No identity. If Nagy can't find it, there's a secret with the enemy. Red zone opportunity. Once again, they gotta settle for three. The reality of coaching when the defense has to carry the team. Prediction. What you think would happen versus what does. A light year from the Super Bowl and now we're losing buzz. Nagy has no answers, just predictions that don't change. The segment is the truth. Give it by the guys and feeling shamed.
What's your prediction? That bold prediction.
The tape never lies.
Bold
It never
prediction.
does.
What's your prediction?
There you go. Prediction cars. Let's kick it off with you.
As we were kind of talking about earlier, this is a game that should easily be a win because you don't fear anybody on the Texans defense. You definitely, especially with Fuller out, don't really feel threatened by anyone other than the quarterback on the team. That said, the team is flat out checked out, right? They're on to 2021 in their mind. So there's no way I can sit down and actually say that that they're going to win this game, and they'll just find new ways to lose. So that's the unfortunate part for me. My bold prediction is, my bold prediction is going to be the defense is going to find a new way to let us down this week. That's. And I get a little upset at folks that are like, you can't pick on the defense. You can't pick on the defense. Look, the defense is getting 60% plus of the salary cap this year. There's a lot of money in there. There's a lot invested. These guys, they've been reading their own press clippings for too long. And I'm looking at a 24-17 game for the Houston Texans.
Nice. There you go. I'm with you, man. I have no faith in this coach. He's lost the team. When you lose when you're up and there's 91% chance of you winning and you find some way to lose.
Oh, it was more than that. I think it was 99.1.
It was the same as
99.1?
99.1.
It was the same basically as what we did against Detroit week 1. Basically.
Holy, I mean, it's even worse because let's just look at that last series up 3 and you decide to drop back to throw twice. That's the story of this guy as a coach. Like, who does that? Who does? Just run the ball, and if they stop you, you punt and you make them win. Instead, you fucking throw. You can't even make it up. It's so dumb. Forget about everything in the game with, Allen Robinson and everything. Matt Nagy, he's just lost the team. And I felt like, we pointed out, Mac, everybody's playing. There was loafing out there from Leno and Allen Robinson, and you saw it from freaking Anthony Miller going out of bounds when he can go up field. I was pointing out all this stuff for you guys on the tape never lies. You can't hide from the cameras. The sky in the eye doesn't lie. I'm going to go with you, Cars. It's going to be Watson, 28, the Chicago Bears, 17. I'll give them 14, but I'm going to go 17. 28-17, I just think you saw Deshaun Watson to that game in the presser, Shane.
Yeah.
Dude was about to cry. It means something to him so much. They've had turmoil in their coaching staff, and this kid is a leader.
Yeah, and he just needs a little bit more fuel to the fire. Like, he still can't believe that Chicago,
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm betting on him 28-17, the Texans, and Nagy should have been fired on Monday. I can't believe he hasn't been. This whole team is obviously. But let me say this real quick. Why do you continue to do what you've always done? It hasn't worked. So
that's the Chicago Bear way.
Send the message.
100 years.
Try out another coach. See if your team gets energy.
Yeah.
And you can honestly look
at
if the Bears
no, they can't. I believe
get top 10.
I think they can get into 9.
Top 10.
No, I think if they got a bunch of help and they lost out, I think the highest they can go is 7.
Oh, I thought it was 9 or
9
7.
or 10 is the most likely landing spot for them at this point.
Right now they're at 11, right?
13.
13 right now.
13. Lucky 13.
Yeah.
And
listen,
but Phil, to your point though, that was what you just described, try something new, that was the Lovie Smith era.
Yeah.
Right? Like the whole era of just we're gonna run the ball, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna have 7 different offensive coordinators run the same game plan that I want them to, and just expect it to be different, whether it's Turner or Mike Martz or whoever. Like, we're just going to keep doing the same thing and hope to God that this works out. And it's like, great, that's phenomenal.
I just mean, listen.
Yeah,
you've never fired and sent a message that this organization is different now.
Right.
Nope.
Are doing the same shit, just like HL is saying. It's insanity. The coach cost you that game. Nobody can tell me different. I'll show you on the tape. He did it. When everything was going your way, he forgets David Montgomery. When everything is still in the balance, he fucking drops back twice. After the first one, when Mitch scrambles up and dives, you should know as a coach, I got Leno out there, I got Fetty, I got to worry. Let me just run the ball. Nope. Straight drop.
It's telling that we've changed to, letting Laser call the plays, and we see the same thing, right? Like the room that they have built is, and what did Flip get fired for it in Minnesota? The same
thing.
Great.
So
I'm telling you, like, I didn't really know what to expect from Laser, but when I lost any confidence or any excitement I may have had just for the sake of change when he came out and said, "Oh no, we're not on a 3-game losing streak." We don't look at it that way. And I'm like, "What the fuck? What are you talking? But what are you talking about?"
It makes a ton of sense to say it that way.
Yeah.
We're in an organization where that's okay. right? Like we're in an organization where we've told everybody that's fine.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me.
Yeah. So here is my prediction. I think it's going to be much of the same, and it's going to go a little bit like this. That pretty much says
it was still going.
Yeah, I guess I didn't trim off the end there enough, but yeah, I don't have any confidence. I mean, I get pissed when the Bears do Bears things, so I'm pissed off quite a bit when it comes to this team. I had to laugh the other day when they fumbled the football, and Ela and Riley were sitting like right behind me, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "No, they're gonna." I said, "Detroit will score here. They're gonna score a touchdown." You knew it. You knew it, and I couldn't. It was hard. I couldn't get mad because part of me was a little bit happy because I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be the impetus to change," and I never want to be the guy that roots against this team. And I mean, as bad as it is, we're still one game out of the playoff hunt right now, right? That's the bad part.
Against them. No way.
I will never root against the Bears ever.
But you know what's ironic about that?
It's keeping it 100 here.
Yeah, I won't either. The ironic part is I also don't have to because I've seen this team happen so much. I know the way that this is going to go. Right? Like, we all knew. Like, I told everybody earlier in that Philadelphia game when Cody Parkey hit the field goal when they called timeout, I turned the TV off because I knew exactly how this was going to go. I've been here. I've lived through this. I've done this, and I started screaming 5 minutes before everybody else because I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's why I will never waste energy rooting against them because they're gonna do it, unfortunately, right now.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
It's gonna be much of the same for the Chicago Bears, and I mean we got 4 games left, and I mean like I said, Phil and I talked a little bit today. I talked to Greg Braggs about it too. I said Bears fans are so deprived of here we are talking to Lemuel Stinson about Neil Anderson and about Walter Payton and about these guys. And I said, Chicago Bears fans, like I said, I brought it up last week on here. I love Darnell Mooney, but I'm not singling out Claudio here, but there's people out there that are talking about this kid like he's having a like he's Randy Moss type season. But that's because our bar is so fucking low for anything on offense. I said, we all deserve better. And it's just, this has never, ever, ever been a one issue fix for this franchise. It's never been that way. It's a whole bunch of them, and it's gotta start on Black Monday. George has to be pissed off enough where he can look in the fucking mirror and say, I get it. As an owner, I'm gonna be in on a fucking interview. You know what I mean? If it's my fucking team, I'm gonna be in there. But you have to make the fucking the change at president. And if it takes them letting Ted ride off into the fucking sunset and phrase it retirement, then so fucking be it. Sylvie brought up, make a different there's a financial ops and a football ops. Ted, you go over, and that's like there's still this part of the fan base that wants to be contrarians and say, oh, I fucking laugh at all these idiot Bears fans that are worried about Ted Phillips. Well, yes, I'm worried about Ted Phillips. He's involved. You can't tell me that he's not involved.
Him in the open. He was right in the room when they made the
exactly.
He's been the one constant
Exactly.
He's more.
Everybody's talking about him. In reality, these people, you've heard Lemuel bring him up. Like, how does Lemuel know because he's involved. He's been involved.
It's the whole reason that Ballard wanted him out, right?
Exactly.
You can't say he's not involved and then say, like, here that Ballard's like, I want him as far away from this.
Yeah.
He was involved. They wanted to trade up for LaDainian Tomlinson, and he let it go.
Phil, that's the thing, and nobody's finishing that story because it wasn't just that. Mark Hatley was the guy calling the shots on draft day then. The Bears had a deal in place to trade up for LaDainian Tomlinson. The Bears were at like 8 or 9, and they ended up taking David Terrell from Michigan. So Ted Phillips, because of money, because LT was a top 5 pick, nixed the deal. So Mark Hatley came back around, and this is 100% truth. This is a fact. Mark Hatley doubled around, had another deal in place to move up to the back of the first round because there was another running back that draft that kept on dropping, Deuce McAllister. Yep. He had another deal in place to get another first-round draft pick, and their first 2 picks were going to be David Terrell and Deuce McAllister. Ted Phillips, again, because of money, having to pay a second first-round draft pick, nixed the deal. So the Bears doubled back. They sat in the second round. They didn't move up, and they took the next running back that was available on their board in Anthony Thomas. Now, listen, I'm a Bears fan. Anthony Thomas winning Rookie of the Year that year over LaDainian Tomlinson, no.
Was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So that's just, I mean, there's being a Bears fan, then there's being a fucking meathead. That was craziness. But can you imagine 2 of the fucking... I mean, Deuce McAllister was good for a lot of years in this team, or in this league.
Can you imagine if we had LT? I mean,
oh my God.
Go from Walter
and he wanted to be here. He wanted to be here. That was his idol.
Walter Payton fan, like me, yeah.
He built a fucking hill in his backyard of his house because of Walter Payton to run the hill. Still waiting for that video, Phil. But...
Listen.
No, it kills me. It kills me. We continually make, as a franchise, right? We have had 2 years where we've had 2 first-round picks, in my life. And one was when they drafted Brad Muster and Wendell Davis.
Yeah.
And the other was when they drafted Michael Haynes and Rex Grossman.
That's boy again.
It. In our lifetime.
Do you want to know the bad part about that?
Wolford and Trace Armstrong.
That's
right.
They
alive for that. That was a great draft.
But do you remember the Donnell Wolford draft? It was known for like 2.5 months leading up to the draft that they were drafting Donnell Wolford. It was like a thing. Yeah, it was like a thing that got out there. But
I love Donnell Wolford.
Michael Haynes and Rex Grossman. That was the Minnesota Vikings draft. Do you remember when they forgot to submit their pick?
Williams.
Kevin Williams was supposed to be the Bears' pick that year.
And the only reason we had that one is we made the trade down with the Jets because they drafted Dwayne Robertson, number 4 overall. That's right.
That's right.
From Kentucky, right? Isn't that where he was from?
Well, we got in a big fight, Phil, on that one in the message board. I will never forget the Dwayne arguments.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. There's certain memories I have, so that group of guys, I remember being at the sports bar in Elk Grove Village when Anthony Thomas got announced as the draft pick, and we all just shit on it. It was so unhappy about that move. And there are certain things about that I always remember, but maybe it wasn't you, but I remember arguing with a lot of people about Dwayne Robertson. Yeah, he's great, but he hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
He's got all these great profile numbers. Show me what he's done. No.
Right.
It's because he was the only one. Okay.
Yeah. Michael Haynes got drafted because he had 2 sacks in the Senior Bowl.
We had a great senior year. They just wanted to ignore his freshman, junior, sophomore, and junior years.
Cade
right?
McDowell were both MVPs of the Super Bowl.
Cade
Listen, it's been a great show. Don't forget, Bears Hour Live right after the Detroit Lions.
It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. bar none. It's Bears Hour Live immediately after each and every Bears game with host Shane, the smartest man, and draft Dr. Phil Ottochian every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday immediately after Bears games. Your guys, Draft Dr. Phil and Shane Marsaw are live on Bears Hour Live. Subscribe to the show via the Tape Never Lies Network, which can be found on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet, Bears Hour Live.
Oh, shit! There you go. Bears Hour Live this Sunday, right after the game. I got my Jim Harbaugh glasses on. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to go first with my shout-outs this week so my connection stays together for a little while because it's giving me anxiety. I want to shout out Dustin Reagan Padilla, who sent me a message.
Oh, my God. I know where he's going with this.
Said,
I couldn't
Phil,
believe it.
I owe you an apology. You were so right about Matt Nagy. And that takes a lot of balls for somebody, a fan, and say the truth. Listen, I do this. I love to do it. I love this team. I would love the opportunity to coach this team because I know, as Spencer Strong is my witness, that I would work my ass off and this team would play like you wouldn't see. The accountability, there'd be no hitting or choking cars, but there certainly would be a lot of pride and a lot of fundamentals being taught and kept accountable, and we would fucking run the ball, I'll tell you that. I want to shout out Rich Ludwikowski, my boy Gary Williams. Gary, Geary. He's a patron. Antoine Lee, Stephen Henderson, Ivan Vargas. I saw him making a comment there. Brandon Livingston, Sony Parrish, Cherie, Burnett, Chris Bowditch, Vito Fiallo, Bob Neubauer, Tim Anderson, Tom Stephanitis, Ron Rupp now. I hope he's doing well. Claudio, the COVID, got him. Hopefully I got to wear my mask more around that dude. My boy Kostos from Greece, Travis Lee, Tom, Sinclair, Fosawick, Rel Remy, Dave Luckett, Mark Egan. You guys are amazing. Kevin Kurz. Merrick, there's a KRC. I've never seen a name. KRC Marik. Maybe they changed the name. Andrew Brown. I want to thank the Sandlins, even though they're charging me of my mail. I haven't gotten the mail yet.
You haven't gotten it yet?
No, because I haven't had any time to go down. I've been dealing with so much. My dad was here. I want to shout out my dad. I want to thank everybody that have reached out and said so many kind words for my father, about my father. He's becoming a real part of this network. And now he's like really into it. He's going to send a special message to you, especially the patrons. Hans Osterwalder from Germany, Shane. Chicago everything. Boy, Mondre Williams. Big A76. My boy Miguel from Jersey, Paulie Coasters, Sandy Tom. I want to thank Scuba Josh, Al Vinyl, Kapagoic, linebacker coach Ryan Billings. He wants to come on BHL. Yep. We're going to get him locked in. I guess, Shane, you got him locked in. Yep. Brett Selms from Australia, Kaz, Jack, Turner, my boy Quentin Botha from China. I gotta wear my glasses. Look at these. She's an Otis Nichols fan. So I gotta shout out Otis. You all. Those are my shout outs this week. I appreciate you all thinking of my dad. It's been very fulfilling. Go over there to theneverlies.com, a patron, check out the song. Hopefully
and he's breaking up now.
Yep.
Exactly. Perfectly timed.
That's why I got it out of the way.
Yeah.
It's so unstable, this motherfucker. It's so crazy, cars. If I shared my screen, you'd see the speed test. Everything looks fine.
It's just inconsistency with it. Yep.
That's why I called them, and they're coming tomorrow.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
That's actually kind of telling, right? You saw that's not actually smoke coming out. That's the COVID.
That's the Rona. That's the Rona.
That's the Rona.
The Rona.
Cars, you got any shout outs?
You know, I have no idea. Like, I'm glad you texted me because I didn't even know it was Wednesday right now.
It's that time of year, isn't it? Jesus, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
I said to Phil,
it's our end of the year. I'm insane.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on. So, no, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks to the Sandlins for the lovely Christmas card and cup holder. I appreciate that. My girls are freaking out that there are more things that have my face on it that aren't just my picture. So definitely appreciate that. But no, thanks everybody for listening. I love doing this.
We love you here. I love you guys. My internet is as consistent as this coaching staff and this football team right now. So I got to get that fixed. I got to hold it accountable. Shane, finish us off.
Yeah, I'll keep mine. Keep mine short and quick, right? Just like I do at home. But no, shout out you guys. I want to shout out Lemuel Stinson. I thought he was great, man. It was funny, like pre-show, Phil and I will usually get on here around like 8 o'clock or 8:15, depending on, family obligations, whatever. So we're in the green room, and I was down here loading up some tweets, and I get a little bell that goes off in my ear, and I'm not really paying any attention to the screen, so I'm looking down and I'm typing stuff, and I look up and I'm like, oh, hey, Lemuel Stinson. He was right there. I thought it was Phil the whole time. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm here. And I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that at all. So it was fun. So we chopped it up a little bit off air, and he was a great dude. I mean, Phil, we could share some of the stories later, some of the jokes that he was making pre-show. A couple of them I didn't think that he would go there, but man, they were funny as hell. Great, but yeah, great guy. He's a guy that we're definitely going to be having back.
Got his address. He wants some swag, Alex. We got to give him some swag. Heather wants to represent.
One more shout out. I want to shout out Cap one more time. The groundswell of positivity and support that this network has gotten since his show coming on with us last week. I'm still getting DMs. I mean, the YouTube comments, it's every single day, emails and texts. It's just, it's crazy. Cap fit. He knows exactly what we love to do here. I think he respects us because of our knowledge and our passion, and we're not here just to spout out bullshit and talk about our fucking sex lives. You know what I mean? So it's
that's so funny.
Yeah. But no, another shout out to Cap because he was really, I mean, Phil, I think you would agree. He's on our Mount Rushmore of people that we've had the chance to talk to him 2 or 3 times, and I mean this last time that he was on with us, it was different. It was a different vibe. I think he's on the same page as we are, but totally amazing. The chat was on fire, so
he's awesome.
Yeah,
and he's a great person, and he's a supporter.
Absolutely.
He's always going out of his way to support people, and I really think
you gotta love that. Absolutely,
loves our network. Yeah, if you guys want people to come on the show. As a fan of this network, you have one duty, like reach out to them. I would love to go you on the show, and then reach out to me and Shane. We've met some people that we never even thought would come on the show and do well.
Right.
From fans saying, "Hey, this guy, I'm not afraid." And obviously, I saw that one comment real quick, Koki 2415. We always are going to bring people, and as we move forward in the season. And off season, we're going to bring more people on the shows.
Yeah,
so be on the lookout for that.
I'm going to share this with you guys here. I haven't even talked to Phil about this yet, but I think we're going to take. I've decided. I think we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. Maybe the week of Christmas, Phil will. I know it's a really busy week for me because I have my parents' anniversary is the 22nd. My niece's birthday is the 23rd. My sister's birthday is the 24th, and then the 25th. It's obvious. Yeah, it's a very expensive week, but I think we're gonna figure out do something maybe a little bit different that week. Phil, the Bears play the Jags that following Sunday, which talk about the toilet bowl, but I think what we're gonna do on Keepin' It 100, Phil, maybe that week is we're gonna, if you're not a patron, get over there, and I think we're gonna make that patron heavy show where we'll funnel through, and I'm going to be taking some time off around the holidays, Phil. I think you are too, and I said maybe we can chop it up a little bit. We can sit back and have a couple of beverages with the patrons. If you want to get on that show, get over to tapeneverlies.com. Yeah, it'll be our Christmas show. Get over to the tapeneverlies.com, become a patron, and you'll get your shot on Keepin' It 100, where anything goes. You want to come on and talk football, talk anything, this is the show for it. So the week of Christmas, like I said, got to be a patron to get on for that show, and you know where to do it, tapeneverlies.com. It's a 45-second process where you can sign up, and we're not going to put you to sleep like what Phil was looking like just a second ago when he was frozen on the screen. But that should be fun. So hopefully you guys will appreciate that, and maybe we'll get the Chubbs. Charge your fucking headphones right now for that show. Plug them in, bro. We'll get the elusive Chubbs on the show maybe that night. We'll put him on the spot. I know he's in the chat room.
We can get Charles Leno on.
Yeah, we'll hold him accountable. We'll hold him accountable, won't we?
I will. Absolutely.
Anyway. So, yeah, but we'll wrap it. It's a perfect place to wrap it up there. But, guys, thanks for coming out. I know we ran into a few problems here and there tonight, but the content is always great. Lemuel Stinson was an awesome guest. Cars popped on, and I think he got Cars. I think that's the first time you've been on with us, isn't it? When we had our guest? Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys are too embarrassed by me normally.
Yeah.
So. Well, understandably.
You two were going to fight for a second.
Look at Chubbs is chickening out already. Doesn't that sound like a confident dude that'll be there? We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
See
Chubbs.
Spencer Strong. We love you guys. We always end it like this. Do you have any final say, or we're done? You good?
We're
good.
See
you at BHL Sunday right after the game. If you're a patron, maybe we'll see you earlier.
This has been a Shy City Sports presentation and a Tape Never Lies Network production. Keeping it 100. Thanks for tuning in to the Tape Never Lies Network.